Local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well, Drape's right now in Vegas, no doubt checking out the Kings and the Knicks, with the Knicks leading 86-80, 7:15 to go in the fourth quarter, and he should be joining us at some point. So it's been already a busy day in basketball. Team USA winning today over Serbia, if I'm not mistaken. Big win. They destroyed the Serb squad. And here's a name that's going to go down in basketball history: Marko Guduric. He was on the Serbian team today. Again, USA with a big win. And with 6:35 left in the third quarter, LeBron gets a rebound, comes into the bust out, Drapes. Kyle Draper with us. Drapes, you know who Marko Guduric is? Have you heard that name before?
Not before today.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's going to go down in history like, Frederick Weiss and those cats. Right. So LeBron gets a rebound. He's dribbling down the court. Marko Guduric decides he's going to slide on over. Maybe you draw a charge on LeBron, and all he drew was just a vicious shoulder to the chest. Down he went in a heap. They called the block on him, and he just got up and shook his head. LeBron trucked that guy, Drapes.
Dude, I didn't get to see it, man. I only saw the first half. And so I'm about to watch it right now as I talk to you, man. But a great performance by. So are you saying that it was a memorable dunk a la Vince Carter? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm just saying it wasn't. It was very physical. Obviously, the dunk over Frederick Weiss was something we'd never seen before, where jump over the guy's head. This was just a matter of, you sure you want to do that? Business decision and all that. And it was just a matter of a guy from another country who's playing hard and just finding out how physically overmatched he was against LeBron, who ducked his shoulder and realized this is going to be a foul on him and made him pay for it. Then LeBron did a little flex there. I just think it's going to be remembered as another example of USA basketball showing that you guys can't play with us. It was a little scary, right, but it was a block. The foul was not on LeBron.
Right. And that's the thing, man. I don't think people understand, like, the physicality, first of all, in the NBA, but also a guy like LeBron James. When he hits you with that shoulder, dude, you ain't got nothing to do but pray out there. You know what I mean? And so, nah, man, it's I'm bummed I didn't get to see it. That's crazy.
It's everywhere. I'm sure you'll see it as soon as you want to. It's I think it's already gone viral. How about the Kings today? Tussling now with the Knicks. Had an interesting conversation before our show started on the crossover. Alan Stiles, and I know he's not the only one, said, well, they got to get Keon out of there. And my feeling is Keon needs to play more now. This is a great chance for him to improve his handle. Where are you on Keon Ellis? Does he need to be playing Summer League at this point?
You know what? I just had a conversation with somebody about this about an hour ago. I think after today's game, maybe he doesn't need to play, but he needed to have a game like today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He needed to have a game where he was the best player on the floor. And when you look at this Kings Summer League team, they don't really have any point guards on the roster. So to your point, Whitey, it's a chance for him to really handle the ball, run the team, have a high usage rate. But in terms of, does he need it? He needed to have a game like this, in my opinion, to show me he's the best player on the floor. Now, if you want to ramp him back, shut him down, maybe play him a few minutes, I'm okay with that. But I think you needed to have a Keon Ellis game, and he's having it right now today.
Yeah, and the game's not over yet. Still about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But Keon with 24 points at 9 of 16 floor, 4 of 8 threes, and only, warms my heart, Drapes, only 2 turnovers for Keon Ellis today. Well done, Keon.
See, our boy taking care of the ball, man. And
that's right.
What a game. I watched the first half and a quarter over there. Good vibe, and I was talking to assistant coach Jay Triano, and one of the things I noticed about our team, it seems like, all right, they're getting some chemistry. They're knowing who can do what, who's where guys' strengths are. And so they look more like a team. And I felt like Keon settled in finally, you know what I mean? Just, whether it was first game jitters, first or second game, or being the guy, like he looked like the OG veteran that he is right now.
And then we had a little bit of I found myself in the middle of a hornet's nest, Drapes, moments ago, because Alan was asking the question about, Keon, he's going to be a starter, right? And, why is a starter playing a summer league? And I said, I don't think he's going to start. Now people responding on the text line. And I'm not saying Keon isn't good enough to start. I think you and I may have had this conversation. I just don't think Mike Brown's going to start him. There may be times like last year because of injuries, he's going to start him, but I still think Kevin Huerter's a starter. Then, of course, we got people weighing in now saying, well, what about Malik? They don't want to start Malik. What do you think? Keon Ellis is good enough to start, but I think on this team right now, if the opening night was tonight, I think Kevin Huerter would be the starter. I don't think Keon's a starter right now. What do you think?
No, I agree. And I think Kevin Huerter is the starter once the season begins, unless they go out there and get a big man like a John Collins or a Jerami Grant or something, and then slide DeMar to the 2. Right. But as currently constructed, Kevin Huerter will be your starting 2 guard, and I think Keon will be in the rotation. Obviously, Malik will. But I think if you're not going to start Kevin Huerter, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, like, what's he on the team for? Is to be your 7th, 8th man? Like, I mean, I think, Kevin Huerter still adds so much to this team, especially when you get a guy like DeMar DeRozan. You need more shooting. You need more floor spacing so those guys can operate and do their thing. And so going into the season, if he's healthy, I think Kevin Huerter is the starter. Now, how much leash is Mike Brown going to give him? I say give him the first month, see how he does. Hopefully that 3-point ball is falling for him. But I think Malik is your 6th man. I think he'll thrive in that role. I think Keon is probably your 2nd guard off the bench, and that's okay. I know Keon showed some flashes, but, when the Kings were at their best, Kevin Huerter was a big reason why. And he was playing well. Now, if he's not playing well, that's a different story. Then you got to make some adjustments. But I think game 1, I still think it's going to be Kevin Huerter.
I know I keep saying this week, but I really think Kevin Huerter is one of the keys to the Kings being better than they were last year. All he has to do is be better than he was last year, and boom, right there, you're better. And the fact that he's proven he can really be a major contributor to your offense, they weren't able to deal him. Maybe, as you say, maybe they still will. But if not, there you go. You get him back anywhere close to where he was, and right there is improvement, which you're going to need in the West.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep it real with you, Whitey. It bothers me that people are crapping on Kevin Huerter. They're crapping on his game. As bad of a season it felt like last year, he still shot 36% from 3. Sure, that's not the 39, 40, 41 that we won, but it wasn't like the dude was 28% from 3 or anything like that. I think the feel and the vibe may have felt worse than the actual output and the actual reality. And so I'm with you, man. I think Kevin Huerter, if we're talking about this team being the best it could be, and I'm talking about maximizing each guy's potential, Kevin Huerter, and you could look at his career numbers, Whitey, his career splits, coming off the bench versus starting, it is night and day. It is a complete difference. And I think first month of the season, training camp, preseason, whatever it may be, making sure Kevin Huerter understands his role, his position, and is in the right headspace is key for this Kings team.
Now, let me ask you this, sir, if I may. And we want to also find out how Vegas was last night. I don't know how much you want to share with us, private stuff, but we'd love to know. But what am I, as a Kings observer and fan, what am I supposed to think of Drew Timme? Where are we with Drew Timme? It's such a nice story. Oh, I saw him on TV. He was a really good player. Well, but is he a pro? Does he have any kind of future? Is there any chance he makes the roster? What are we supposed to think of Drew Timme?
That's a good question, man, because I look at Drew Timme, and I'm a big fan. Soft hands. I was talking to Jay Triano about him about a half hour ago. Soft hands, can finish around the basket. His big issue is he's undersized at the position. And, even watching him today against the Knicks, bang with some of their taller players, it's a challenge for him. But I'm a big fan of his. The problem is we don't have any two-way spots. Are you going to use one of your roster spots for him and give him a 1 or 2 year deal? Or do you keep the flexibility open in case late during the summer you want to sign somebody? I think ultimately what I'd envision happening is he signs a G League contract with the Kings. Like, I feel like there's a spot for him within the organization somewhere. Like, don't just let him go and then we never hear from him again. Like, I do feel like he has a potential to, I'm not saying be a starter, but why not be in a 10th man, 11th man? And so I like Drew Timme a lot. He understands the game. He's not going to beat himself. He's not going to try to do too much, turn it over. And so, yeah, I agree with you, man. I like Drew Timme.
I think if they had more depth in the front court already, maybe he'd be worth your while to squeeze him onto the end of the bench. But right now, I don't think that's the case. And I hope he has an NBA future. I see him being a guy that's got some name value since, he played on the outstanding Gonzaga team. I think he's a perfect player for the G League, not only in terms of getting a chance to develop, but I mean, you're watching G League guys. It's nice as a fan to say, hey, I know that guy. I think he'd be a perfect G League player.
No, I'm with you on that, and you're right. Fans know who he is, and he's a good player, man. It's not like this dude's a stiff or can't handle the ball, can't got stone hands or anything like that. The dude has some skills, and so I'm with you, man. I think either a G League player or at some point in his career, a back end of the rotation player. Even because he's a hard worker too. Yeah. Even a guy that you have in practice, I think, sharpens other guys. And so I hope he sticks around, man. I'm a big fan of Drew's.
Keon Ellis has just knocked down a couple of free throws, so the Kings trail by 4 with 2:25 left. We'll tell you how that wraps up. Also, we'll tell you about a guy that the Kings have been linked to that the Lakers are apparently pursuing as we speak. That and more coming up with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Yeah, how about this? You got the Drive Guys, Drapes in Las Vegas, where the Kings are trying to catch the Knicks in the final moments of that contest in Vegas. We have this report here that a guy that some of us have linked to the Kings. I don't know if the Kings are interested, but some of us have said, hey, that's a good fit. And it looks like the Lakers, according to report, the Lakers have been in consistent talks on a deal for this player. We'll tell you all about that in just a moment. First, let's go to the phones, why don't we? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Coach Savage on Sactown Sports. Coach, what's up?
Hey, here I am. So, I had a conversation with you guys last week about putting Sabonis at power forward.
Mm-hmm.
But the other subject I'd like to bring up is, if the Kings refuse to try that out, Timme would be he's not undersized at power forward. He's 6'10". If you put him in that spot and he grabs 10 rebounds a night and scores 10 points, all of a sudden you've finally got a power forward that's not undersized and he's doing his job. And I don't know why Mike Brown and the Kings can't even see to try him out at power forward, especially in the summer league. It just never seems to happen. So here I am having to call in to make that suggestion.
Well,
Now,
yeah.
can you guys see him playing at power forward?
I'll just say this, Coach. To me, if you're playing a game and Drew Timme at power forward has 10 rebounds, you're probably playing the Del Campo JV squad. And I don't mean that as, I mean, Drapes.
Well, wait a minute. He's grabbing 10 plus rebounds playing center. So why wouldn't he be grabbing them at power forward?
Well, I don't believe he's grabbing 10 rebounds a game in summer league. Drapes is there. Drapes, it's rebounding at this pro level. It's not his strong suit, is it?
No, and here's the thing. Hold up, Coach. Hold up. Let me talk. Let me talk.
Yeah.
Last year in the G League, Drew Timme last year averaged 9 points and 6 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
This is for a full season in the G League.
Yeah.
We're talking about the NBA. We're talking about the best of the best. Come on, Coach. Come on. You really think Drew Timme is a 10-10 guy in the NBA? Is that what you're really saying right now?
Well, the one thing I can tell you is when you're playing power forward, you're closer to the basket than if you're playing high post center. So he probably would get more rebounds. And all I'm saying is give him a shot in the summer league, playing power forward just for a game or two. Just experiment. If he works out, great. Because that's the biggest hole in the Kings right now is they don't have a true power forward.
Thank you, Coach. Always appreciate your listening and your calls and your creative suggestions. That's a non-starter, Drapes, right? I mean, Drew Timme would get destroyed in the NBA as a power forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. He not out there checking Paolo Banchero.
No,
like Drew Timme is at best probably a solid rotation guy. 8th man, 9th man. Like to think about him as a starting power forward or a 25-minute a night kind of guy, I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah.
He's shown some flash, and Mike Brown, coach is getting on, the Kings. I don't know why they don't, he was in the Buck system, right? And didn't, get a whole lot of time there.
He got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that, right? And so, I mean, he's listed as 6'10", but I don't think he's all of 6'10" either. I mean, I think, the numbers might be fudged a little bit. He's a solid player, and I love Drew Timme. But if we're counting on him to be our starter at 4 alongside Sabonis, I think there may be other options out there.
Yeah, my guess is, and again, appreciate Coach Colin. I think maybe he's thinking of the player that he saw, against Gonzaga.
Right.
Drew Timme kind of reminds me, and I think I've made this comparison before, and I think you kind of clarified it for me. But, a guy who was an outstanding center in college, then at the next level, does it translate? To me, he reminds me of kind of Luka Garza. And Luka Garza hardly plays at all, but he's on an NBA roster. And I think Luka Garza is a little bigger than Timme, isn't he?
Yeah, I think, Luka Garza is about 6'9", 6'10". And here's the thing. When I look at a guy like Drew Timme, and you bring up Luka Garza, a guy that he can sort of maybe pattern his game after and pattern his career is Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner had a great college career.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But, doesn't really do anything great offensively in the NBA, but there's a lot of hustle, a lot of fight, a lot of grit, can occasionally knock down an outside shot. I think for Drew Timme, if he could stretch his range out and shoot a little better, I think he'd have more of an upside. Right now he's an undersized 5, and if you play him at 4, like Coach is talking about, is he really guarding Jason Tatum at the 4 spot when they play the Celtics?
Unless you're a Boston fan, let's hope not.
Exactly. And so I think in today's NBA, even look at the Knicks. Is he guarding Julius Randle when he's healthy at the 4? No, Randle would beast on him. And so I think that's the conundrum when it comes to Drew Timme.
Yeah, I didn't mean that stylistically he's like Luke Garza. I just meant that big-time college player, and then, boop, boop, you're hitting that ceiling at the next level. He's more – I think Jerry Reynolds might have mentioned this to me once. The ceiling for Drew Timme might be kind of a poor man's Brad Miller. But to get – Brad Miller was a good shooter, and I think that's a great point you raised. Drew Timme probably, to ensure that he's going to have any chance at sticking in the NBA, probably has to become a better jump shooter. Yeah. So
No, I agree. And he's a good story. And I think, like we said, we both hope they find a spot for him, in the organization instead of just letting him walk away, whether it's the G League or something like that, especially, if guys get injured or something. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to Drew Timme on the back end of the bench on the team.
Look at this. Campio's very excited on the chat. He says the Kings made free throws. They're down 4 with 1:46 to go. Jumper from the corner, no good. And the Knicks secure the carom. Oh, stolen! Who is that shooting a 3 for the Kings? No good.
Hold on. Hey. Need a play-by-play to the professionals, big fella.
Well, can you see it? Are you there? Are you watching?
No, I'm not watching. I'm not. I don't have a TV here, man. It's killing me. I might set up my iPad so I can watch some of the games. That's what I was. You doing the play-by-play, man. I'm like, hold up now. What's going on here?
Here comes Keon in transition. Throws it. I don't know who's is that. I think that's I'll just say Jones. That's a good bet. Mason Jones for 3, I think. 101 to 100. It was Mason Jones. 104 left. And the Knicks bring it across the timeline. Drapes, what a thriller we have in Las Vegas right now.
I tell you what.
Kings on a 15-5 run in the last 3:29.
Our boy G-Man is like, what is Whitey doing right now? Leave the
Timme with the rebound.
Oh,
Kings into the front court. Down 1, Drapes.
You having fun, man?
Mason Jones.
This is bad. This is bad.
To the foul line. Fakes. Into the air. Throws it up. No good, but there's a foul. Anyway, the Kings have a chance. Mason Jones going to line. Nice comeback for the Kings today, Drapes. You're not going to even talk to me.
Dude. You just totally. That
wasn't bad. I told you what was going on.
You know what that was? That was Fisher Price, my first play-by-play right there.
I've done it. It wasn't my first time, though. It was my 3rd or 4th time. There you go.
No, you know what? A nice comeback. They had the lead early in this game. Floundered a little bit, but fought back. And you're right. I'm bummed I'm not able to watch it. I got to work. I got to do this radio show. Darn it.
Yeah, Mason Jones made the first free throw. We're all even. But let me just tell you about this. Oh, Drapes, we've been talking about the Lakers, right? Lakers, terrible offseason. Well, apparently they may not be done just yet. Anthony Irwin is a Laker insider. He's reporting that the Lakers are in talks with the Portland Trail Blazers about a trade for Jerami Grant. He tweeted, I'm told the Lakers and Blazers have been in consistent talks on a deal for Jerami Grant. I wouldn't call it particularly imminent, but the sides have definitely been active most of the day. We got, can I take it from here, Drapes, with 10 seconds to go and the Kings down 1? Keon
down
for
1?
3, it's on the good! Keon Ellis with the dagger! The left side 3, timeout Knicks! 105-103 with 6.7 left. Kyle Draper, what did you make of that?
You're just making me feel bad, bro. Like, I'm over here, no offense, hanging with you in this empty room, and my squad's up there having an epic comeback.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. The Knicks got a little sloppy putback to take the lead, but then Mason Jones off the screen to Keon Ellis stepped into that 3 from the left side. A little sideways spin he's got.
Yeah.
Nothing but twine. Bottom of the bucket to give the Kings the lead, and Keon pointing to the bench. Oh, man, this would be a nice comeback for him. If this is Keon Ellis' last Summer League game, what a way to finish. 29 points, 10 of 18 field goals, 5 of 10 beyond the arc, Drapes.
No, exactly. That's what we expect from our guy, Keon Ellis. I mean, he played big minutes in clutch situations for us. And so when he gets to Summer League, he needs to cook. He needs to be a chef out there. You know what I mean? And so that's why I think after today, they may, I don't want to say shut him down, but scale back his minutes just to get a look at some of the other guys. You
got Sam Mitchell doing the analysis courtside. Drapes, what do you do here? What's your advice? Because there's 6.7 left, game on the line. I don't know who the Knicks have on the floor. How am I going to call it when I don't? And it's too late to do my homework. How do you call a game when you don't know the names of the players?
And what's the score right here?
105-103. Kings with the lead. Knicks inbounding at half court. 6.7 to go.
Look for number 13. I forget his name, but the dude's been on fire to get a good look at a 3. I think they're going to go for a 3 here. You tell me.
Yeah. This is a long time out, but now we're ready to go.
See? If you're going to be a play-by-play guy, you got to know how to feel, big fella.
I didn't know I was doing play-by-play today. I think your guy might be inbounding side out of bounds for the Knicks. 6.7 to go. Here's a handoff, drive down the lane all the way, put it up off the glass, and he scores, and there's a foul. And I think you're right. I think it was your guy number 13. Came down the lane, threw it up and in with the left hand, drew the foul. Yeah, it was 13. All the way on Mason Jones, drew the foul, banked it in. So the Kings now, well, they're not done just yet. What a nice play by 13. Throwing up kind of a half hook off the glass, Drapes. What is that? That's garbage. That's Kolek with the bucket. He's got 20 points.
21 points, I think he finished with, or something like that.
That means he's going to make this free throw. Because if we're tied at 105, he knocks it in. And the Kings, no timeouts. There's a
21.
Free from half court. It's no good. And the Knicks have survived. They've come from behind after blowing a lead. Knicks over the Kings, 106-105. There you go. That's the best.
Announcer jinx, I'm going to call that. Everything was fine, and then you started doing play-by-play.
I had to tell people what was going on. And hopefully we didn't violate any kind of NBA copyright broadcast rules.
I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did. But can we tell the people what we got coming up? Our boy Mike Brown, who officially, it was announced today, got his extension. He's going to be meeting with the media in the next half hour or so. So we're going to bring you some of that, some of his top clips. Our boy Brandon Nunes is over there gathering sound for us as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that. And also we'll tell you more about the Lakers and Jerami Grant, how that could impact the Kings when we come right back. Drive, guys. Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry. You never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mob Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit alsco.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
18 number ones.
What was I thinking about?
Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hard Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by McKee Brothers, Clemmy Rooter and Heat, and Dawson Oil Company. If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water bill.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Knicks just knocked off the Kings 106-105 in Summer League, and it's a little embarrassing. Just to rave reviews for my impromptu play-by-play, just rolling in here. And folks, I'm just trying to keep everybody informed. Oh man, looks like everybody loved it, or at least one person did. Your guy Compio Drapes, not a fan of my play-by-play. Whitey's play-by-play is terrible. Whitey needs to work on his play-by-play. Whitey is no Kyle Draper. So there you go.
Tell me where the lies are. Tell me, is he lying? No,
I'm just letting you know. He wouldn't hear any of it. And it was heaven to resin. Those Whitey's play-by-play is fire. So appreciate
he said,
that.
Look out, Drapes at that too. Like, man, is that your burner account that I didn't know about?
I don't have a comment on that one way or the other. Right. We do have this again. Just Keon Ellis. This could be his last game, according to Drapes. Talking to some sources, this could be his last game at Summer League this year. If it is, what a way to finish! 29 points for Keon Ellis, 5 of 10 beyond the arc, including a big 3 in the final seconds that gave the Kings briefly the lead, and he only had 2 turnovers today. So really nice effort from Keon Ellis. But I just wanted to know, Drapes, what you think here, and we are getting ready to hear from Mike Brown, who officially has had his extension announced today. But what did you make of that report about the Lakers and Jerami Grant? What do you think of all that?
I don't like it at all. And from a Kings standpoint, this would make the Lakers better. This would imagine their starting front line: Anthony Davis, Jerami Grant, and LeBron James.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the size and length and ability. All 3 guys can score. All the guys can play at a high level. This would be, and the fact that Jerami Grant can knock down the 3, and you know this, Whitey. Guy shot 40% from 3 last season. Like, this is another offensive option, another 20-point scorer for the Lakers, because right now, that's been their biggest problem. It's only been AD and LeBron. They haven't been able to count on D'Angelo Russell. Austin Reeves has been up and down as well. You get a guy like Jerami Grant as your third option.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine him shooting corner threes, LeBron trying to get downhill? He spray it out to Jerami Grant. And so this would be a big-time pickup for the Lakers. And, and if it does get done, it would not surprise me. The West is an arms race right now, man. Like we've talked ad nauseum about it. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses now. You can't just sit back and be like, we'll get them next year, or maybe in 2 years we'll be building. No, you got to go for it now, because if you don't, you'll be on the outside looking in. And so think about it. If the Lakers had Jerami Grant and Dalton Connect this offseason,
yeah,
like, that's a pretty darn good offseason for them. That's all the jokes and everything. We can't make those anymore. That's a pretty good offseason.
According to reports, it looks like Portland is asking for 2 first-round picks. Like, the Lakers first round picks in 29 and 31, and the Lakers think that's too much. The Lakers would like to send back some combination of Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, and Gabe Vincent plus draft picks. And the money here is a little tricky. Grant just finished the first season of a 5-year deal worth $160 million. He signed it last offseason. So he's due $29.8 this year, $32 million the next year, $34.2 million. And then he has a player option for the 27-28 season for $36.4. So one of the issues is, that's good for him. He signed a big contract, but is he worth it to be your third or your fourth option? So the Lakers and Blazers, as far as we know, like I say, are talking. Nothing's imminent, but they've been talking about this a lot. So I'm with you. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. That would be bad news for the Kings.
Well, here's the question, Whitey. If the asking price, is, 2 first rounders, if you're the Kings, are you going to offer that? Would you offer that if you're Monte McNair and the Sacramento Kings for 2 first rounders?
It's a good question.
I might do that. I might do that, Whitey.
I would there's a great argument to be made to, no, hang on to those, and you want that. You'll want those picks when the time comes. But right now, if I'm all in on right now, if I could get him and keep him away from the Lakers with those 2 picks, I'm with you, Drapes. I don't know if it's a smart move, but I would do it.
But and here's the thing. Then you also got to make the salaries kind of match.
Yeah.
And who do we have that we're willing to part with and give up? Like it wouldn't just be Kevin. It might be a Trey Lyles also. And so now you're talking about gutting some of your depth as well. And so I would argue that the Kings would not be inclined to do that, because I think, they don't want to sacrifice depth. As much as we like Jerami Grant, I could argue that they probably feel like they could get somebody of cheaper value, cheaper cost, that for what we're going to ask of Jerami Grant can do something similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have to go for the big ticket item, the big ticket price, and get a guy like Jerami Grant.
From what Monty says, we know that he does love his flexibility. And so I agree with you. I don't think they would do it. But if they ask me, I would say, yes, do it. And then you're all in on the next couple years. But, I mean, you got a lot of talent on that roster if you do that. Don't think it's going to happen, but I would do it, Drapes.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you get Jerami Grant, are you a top 3 team, top 4 team in the West? That's a great question. I wonder, too, when you talk about making moves, are there any moves outside of getting, Anthony Edwards, Tatum, or Jokic, or somebody like that puts you in that upper echelon of the Western Conference? Or maybe you're like Dallas was this past season, a number 5 seed. And I understand they played better after the trade deadline, but do you even have to be number 1, number 2, number 3 seed to advance out of the West? We just saw Dallas. Things bounced their way. They got hot at the right time. Can the Kings get that to that point? And so it's a conundrum. For the Lakers, Whitey, I'll say this. I probably would be against giving up those picks, knowing that LeBron is aging.
Yeah.
AD is aging. Those picks in 29 or 31, they're going to be valuable.
They're going to need
You're going to be in the middle of rebuilding at that stage. So, I'm with you on that. And so, but I like the player, man. I think we both like Jerami Grant.
Yeah, and he'd be a really good fit for the Kings because he's a really good shooter, really good 3-point shooter. And he's been at times, his defense has fallen off a little bit, but he's a very capable defender and he can play either forward spot. But I think it, among other things, comes down to Monty looking at, if you brought in Jerami Grant right now, and as you say, you'd have to do some work to make that fit salary-wise, that would be your team. You'd be stuck. And if for some reason you didn't have a good fit, well, you're in big trouble. And I don't think the Kings, I think they appreciate the flexibility, and they want to see how this DeRozan thing develops too. And then maybe if they're going to make a move that's of any significance, they do that at the deadline. I would do it, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, Monty is a very measured, patient
He's like
person.
you. He's very much like you.
Him and I are totally opposite. I'm so emotional, man. I'm up and down depending on the hour. But no, you're right. If you get a Jerami Grant, your moves are done. I believe, then you'd be hard capped. And if it fails, the only way of digging your way out, because De'Aaron's about to sign an extension. Keegan's going to sign an extension. Domas just signed his. Jerami Grant, you mentioned in the second year of a 5-year deal, was it? 5-year deal. And so that's your squad.
Yeah.
And to get out of that, you're going to have to trade somebody. So, as much as I like the player, he probably would not be at the top of the Drapes list, the D list. I would look at other options.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't he on the D list, but towards the back end of it or towards the bottom of it? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was like number 4 or 5. My boy John Collins was up there. Zach LaVine was up there. Kuzma, Jerami Grant, and I forget the 5th guy. Oh, Ingram. And so, John Collins is still my answer. And, I've talked to High Flyer about this, Henry Turner. He's been on our show before talking about it. He's a big believer that John Collins
really
is the fit. Yes, he is all in, chips all in on John Collins as our starting 4-man.
All
and
right.
so
very doable.
Very doable. And if Monty's listening right now, I just saw him out there at the game. Maybe he's tuning in on the Sactown Sports 1140 app.
Sure he is.
Bring John Collins to Sac. JC to SAC.
Mm-hmm. Good luck with that. I know you've been working on it. I know you've been working on it. When we come back, guess what? The NBA is talking about expansion again. What does that mean? Next on Sactown Sports.
Is everyone's app. Every fan of every team.
Oh, my goodness.
Everyone who follows LeBron, Tatum, and Embiid in the app. Every warrior who's ready to go to battle over 3-point percentages. Every streetwear king who's here for the tunnel fits. Every young buck, nugget, and grizzly who wants to take a peek behind the scenes of the league. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth. Download the NBA app today. Available in the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Well, you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of STP full synthetic oil with an STP extended life oil filter for just $29.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt power tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools and better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Michael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento Summertime Heat is back. And, of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And, as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebate.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 7/31/24.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
We golfers tend to grumble too much. Golf Monthly's Nick Bonfield compiled our biggest complaints. They include our own game. The refrain, is it going to be another one of those days, should maybe be realigned and set about the next shot with positivity. Next is our equipment. We always blame our tools, even though they were just along for the ride. Course conditioning is another gripe, and maybe you should try getting up while it's still dark, whether it's 108 or 32 degrees, and deal with global warming, limited budgets, and sustainability. And then go hug your superintendent for what they do. Dress codes get a lot of attention. Some feel the tradition should be maintained, and others are comfortable in T-shirts. It's a game, people. Also in the mix are rules of golf, slow play, the World Handicap System, tee time booking systems, bad luck, and more. I say you get out of it what you're willing to put into it. You're on a golf course, your phone's not ringing, and you might make a birdie or two. Enjoy the moment. There's lots of time left in the day for complaints. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Kings lost a close one today in Summer League, but Keon Ellis had a big game, and people are chatting a little bit about Keon Ellis here. We got Drapes there in Las Vegas. We're getting ready to hear from Mike Brown this afternoon. His extension has been officially announced, so he will be speaking. How about these comments on the text line here, Drapes? From the 916, I'm not excited about this at all, but I think based on the current roster construction, Keon Ellis has to start at the 2. Someone has to bring some defensive intensity to the starting 5. That's so sad. I don't even think this is a good idea, but this is probably – that's a bad approach, right? Before the season even starts.
No, I'm with you. You know, it's like, I don't want to do this, but, you know. Whitey, you know how it is. I think for Keon, the big question mark is the three-point shooting that we saw last year. Can it continue and get even better? And I'm not talking about the 41.7% that he shot and made from a season ago. I'm talking about the attempts. He only took 2.9 threes per game. Like, they're starting 2-guard to really get respect. You know, you got to be up there in the 5 or 6 range. You know what I mean? To really open it up. Mm-hmm. You know, I think teams, you know, if Keon's coming off something, they're going under the screen. And so it's going to be on Keon to make those defenses pay. We know his defensive skills. We know how great he is, the energy that he plays with. But I wonder if offensively he's the perfect fit for this 5-man unit.
From the 916, if we're depending on this guy for success, we have no shot, period. I don't know if they're talking about Keon or my play-by-play. I'm not sure what that's alluding to.
Probably your play-by-play. If I had to guess.
No, it was spot on. It was fire. Campio even checked back in and said, when I said terrible, I meant the end of the game, not Whitey's play-by-play. So that was nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And how about this one from the 530? Yeah. What do you guys think of the 4? Murray, Lyles? I feel that's lacking. That's what we've been saying. That's definitely an area where you could upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been talking about. You got Murray, you got Lyles. What else? Who else do you have at that position? You know, McDaniels. Like I think, in all honesty, we need a girthy, beefy 6'10" guy. You know, Bobby Portis would be at the top of the list, obviously, but it doesn't seem like Milwaukee's ready to move off of him. You also need a guy that can challenge shots defensively. You know, that's one thing. You know, you look at Lyles, you look at Keegan, they're not elite level shot blockers. So we need a guy that's almost like a pogo stick that can actually challenge at the rim as well. And I think that's what we're lacking right now.
All right, because remember earlier in the show, Coach Savage said, "Hey, Drew Timme is a perfect 4 to right." So we've got that on the board today as well. We're just spitballing here, Drapes, looking at other options. No?
Can I draw your attention to the chat?
Yeah,
because I'm gonna keep it real. There's a lot of lying that goes on in the YouTube chat on Sactown Sports 11. Like Compio was there when Wilt scored 100.
Yeah,
and Babe Ruth, hit 714. Also,
right.
Like he was every. But Frank Perez says he placed 4th last night and won $250,000 in his poker tournament here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Are we calling cap or no cap? Are we believing Frank Perez or not?
I'm going to believe it because I want to believe it, which is why people believe things anyway. They believe things because they want to believe it. I want to go with that, Drapes, so I'm going with it. And I expect him to hook up with you at some point in Vegas and share with you some of his winnings.
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering. The guy didn't invite me out to dinner, didn't want to buy me a dessert. No vanilla ice cream cone or nothing. You win $250,000 and you're in the same town as me and don't holler at me. I will say this: if I ever won $250,000, I'm not telling people on YouTube I won $250,000. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Right.
That's
You're just saying,
I'll tell my
I did
close
okay.
friends
I
and
came out ahead
family.
a
I
little
did
bit.
all right.
Yeah.
It was a good day. It was a good night at the tables. But this guy's like, first thing he says, "What's up, people? I won $250,000." Like, come on, bro. I don't know if I'm believing that.
So he hasn't tracked you down as Ramsey tracked you down in Vegas yet.
Yeah, I hung out with Ramsey last night. We were at the WNBA game, Aces versus Chicago Sky yesterday, and Ramsey was going to meet up with our guy Jay, producer Jay, and Ramsey didn't have his car, so I gave him a ride back to Jay's. Yeah,
wow,
exactly, man. Yeah, I'm a man of the people, Whitey.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not up here in this glass house riding around in my limos and everything with bodyguards and security. I'm out there with the people, man.
That's nice. That's really nice. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Speaking of the people, here's Doug on Sactown Sports. What's up, Doug?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
Dougie, what's up, baby?
Hey, man, I got 2 points. I'll go the first one for you there, Coach Draper. Okay, you are now Coach Draper. Okay.
Okay.
How is it that Keon's going to get that many more shots when we have a system, and by adding DeMar DeRozan to it, where is Keon going to get his shots from? Now, if you say it's a replacement for Kevin Huerter, then there'll be some available. But that offense is tough when it's ball dominated by a few guys. Now you add DeRozan. So I was just wondering, from all your vast coaching experience, how you're going to get Keon more shots than the ones that he's already getting. On my second point, though, I believe that Rudy Gobert has ruined everything in the NBA when they were able to get 5 first-round picks, and that's why we keep going through this stuff where we're going, how did that guy get 5? How did Mikal Bridges get 5 picks, first-round picks? So that's all I've got. Enjoy your time in Vegas. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. I agree with you completely on Gobert. Gobert is ruined, and you can't blame him. It wasn't his fault, but Danny Ainge got Minnesota to agree to that. It's ruined everything. At some point, someone's just going to have to pull back and say, no, we're not paying that anymore. And at some point, when enough teams do that, we'll have some sense of normalcy restored. But I think it's going to take a while, Drapes. Coach.
No, I'm with you on that, man. I mean, it just seems like the price keeps going up and up and up.
Right.
And then you add in the pick swaps as well and everything. And, you could say Gobert, but, I could go back to the Celtics trade, but that was for Pierce, Garnett, you know what I mean? Multiple players in picks involved. Like, to give up 5 first-rounders. The Kevin Durant trade, was huge as well. And so, when he went to Phoenix. And so, I mean, it's just the asking price. Everything has gone up in our world. Housing prices, gas price, nothing's cheap anymore. And, to Doug's first question about where's Keon going to get his shots from. All I know is this. Drew Holiday for the Celtics took 10 shots a game. Drew Holiday for the Celtics took 4.7 threes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Derek White, who's arguably their 4th or 5th starter, depending on how you want to look at it, shot 6.8 threes per game. And so maybe our offense shouldn't be so ball dominant, as Doug said. Maybe it's more equal opportunity offense. And if Keon is shooting 5 or 6 threes, then that means the ball's moving around. It's not just Fox shooting. It's not just DeMar shooting. And so I don't know where the shots are coming from, but I do say 2.9 threes a game and 40, it's an encouraging sign, but in terms of a sample size, that's pretty small. I don't think that's putting the fear in the opponents on the scouting report.
I will say this. I'm starting to see where the Keon should start people. I see where they're coming from. Because I've been saying, as we've talked about the Kings roster, I said, they should get a 4 who can screen and rebound and defend and doesn't need the ball much. Well, why does it have to be the 4 that doesn't need the ball much? Now, I think ideally we'd like to have a little more size in the front court than DeRozan and Keegan Murray and Domas. But if you have those 3 up front and you have De'Aaron Fox, and then you have Keon as the guy who's a good shooter but isn't going to need the ball, that could work too. I still would start Huerter, but I see the logic. I see where that could work, how that could add up. And just let me say, as far as the, like 4 draft picks for a really good player now, the prices are so crazy. Jerami Grant, apparently Portland wants 2 number 1s for him. That's about right, isn't it? I mean, if a really good player is 4 number 1s, Jerami Grant should be about 2. That seems exorbitant, but it is in line with the way things have been going.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, you could obviously throw some protections in there too, Whitey. So, this guy is a 24 point per game scorer in the NBA. Like, I don't think 2 number 1s is that crazy in today's market of an asking price. I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, we'll look at the NBA's expansion plans, what that could mean for the Kings. And our buddy Zach Harper loves the DeRozan deal. So in which of his 6 tiers does he place the Kings? Right back with that on Sactown Sports Drive.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
The wild-eyed Southern boys are back. 38 special. Rock it into the night. Friday, July 19th at 7:30 at the venue at Thunder Valley. With Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss 38 Special Live.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right, Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
La la, wait till I get my money right.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper in Las Vegas. That, by the way, is where the Kings fell to the Knicks today. A comeback coming up just short. Knicks over the Kings 106-105. We'll talk more about that. But, Drapes, we were talking about Frank, who on the chat says he won some money. And I said, Of course he did. And you were a little skeptical, right? Because I think Frank wants to have a word with you. You up for that?
Let me say, yeah, I was a little skeptical because if I won $250, I probably would not be. And I know Frank is a fan of the show.
Yeah.
But I might not be listening to the Drive Guys if I won $250.
Well,
I might
let's
be
see.
on a bender somewhere. I might be in the gutter somewhere in Vegas right now. But yeah, let's welcome in our boy Frank. Frank, what's up, man?
Congratulations,
you mad at me, bro?
Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, you got some smoke
Great.
for us, Frank.
Don't hate. It's not a good look on you, brother.
Dude, I'm a hater, man.
Don't get mad because you can't play poker. All right?
You're right. I cannot. I am not a poker player.
Table? You got to come play with the big boys. All right.
Now hold up, Frank.
I'll be back in town Wednesday. I will go down to KHTK on Thursday at your show, and I'll bring you my check that I won.
No, I want it in cash. I want to see you. I want to see you bring it in the briefcase. Open it up for us. You know what I mean?
I'm not bringing that kind of cash to you.
You know what, Frank? Real quick, Frank.
I'll stop
I'm not a
and buy you a burger too.
Listen to this. I'm not a big poker player, but about 3 months ago, me and the boys had poker night, and your boy cleaned up about $2,000, which is good for me. That's good for me.
Good.
So I'm not a $250,000 poker guy.
I'm not even allowed to play at Capital Casino anymore.
What's the key?
I won too much there.
Give me what's the key, man? Give me some tips.
I've been playing poker since I was 24. I'm 57. Just kept playing, and I play poker and sports bet. That's all I do for a living.
A magician never reveals his tricks, Drapes. And that's what Frank is.
I'll be there Thursday, Drapes. I'll bring my check.
Okay.
I got a big old
Frank,
check.
I got one last question for you, Frank. Listen up. One last question. Because
Go ahead,
I
man.
walk into casinos and I see the poker room and I see a whole bunch of tables, people at different tables. Does it start out that big and then as the night goes on, whittles down to like one final table? Is that how it is?
Yeah, you go down to one final table. So there's a buy-in. So let's say there's like 2,000 people. They put you at a table, and you keep going till people get eliminated. They short it down, table. Next thing you know, you got the final 10 at the table.
Hey, Frank, if you'd come in third, how much would you have won?
I would have won 350.
Yeah, 250.
Wow.
Yeah,
250.
Hey,
I mean,
well done.
man.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, Whitey, I got mad. Don't ever call me a liar, Drake.
Hey, I got you to call into the show, Frank. I appreciate that, man.
Congratulations, Frank. Yeah, you see that?
Dang, that's a good night.
You gonna take him on head to head? Some kind of charity poker challenge?
Yeah.
Drapes against Frank.
He's clearly a better poker player than me. Man, I'm jealous. If I won Whitey, I'll keep it. If I won 250 last night, you might be doing the show solo today. Like I'd be on a bender somewhere. Your boy would be throwing hundreds around like, wee. So
not Frank though,
man.
cool, calm, and collected. Like that's what I'm supposed to do. I play poker. I'm supposed to win money. That's what I'm supposed to do.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
man. I'm impressed.
Does this impress you at all? The NBA has talked about expanding again, Drapes. The commissioner did a stand-up. I don't know if you were there yesterday in Vegas, and he talked about a lot of things, state of the league type things. And he says Seattle, Las Vegas, Mexico City, Montreal, Vancouver are cities they're looking at, and it all depends on when they get the expansion, when they get the TV contract figured out and finalized, then they'll take a more serious look at expansion. Good for the league or bad for the league?
I think it's great for the league. I think they need to be back in Seattle, and Vegas would be a hub. I mean, they would go crazy for an NBA team here in Vegas. I mentioned I was at the Aces game last night, the WNBA game, a sellout. It was insane in there. The crowd was electric. And so I think when you look at Vegas, I think it's a basketball city. Going back to UNLV days when the Running Rebels were on top, how crazy this city was. And, Adam Silver did mention regarding the new TV deal, if you add 2 new teams, then you got to divvy up that pie among 32 owners instead of 30. Are the owners willing to, do that? I guess if you got all these buy-ins, $5 billion to buy into the league and expand or whatever, maybe they would be. But I still think there's a few hurdles. But it's clear Adam Silver wants to expand. And I wouldn't be surprised, Whitey, and I want to hear your take on this. If it's not just Vegas and Seattle to start, but then a few years after that, maybe a Mexico City, a Vancouver. Like, he's trying to make this global. He's trying to take this thing international.
I think a lot of that is going to hinge on how well this expansion goes. I don't know. What are we talking? 2 or 3 years, maybe? And again, they haven't even finalized anything. They got to finalize the TV deal. But a key will be, how can the league absorb 2 more teams? How does that impact the quality of play? I know on some level, if they get their money, like, they don't care. But, the NBA is still growing, and they can't afford to lose any of the fans they have because there's a real drop-off. So if we add 2 more teams and, it's still night to night, it's competitive, and the 2 franchises get off to decent starts, then I can see within the next 5 years after that, they'd add again. But if that doesn't go well, like things went for Vancouver the first time around, which wasn't entirely their fault, then I think it's going to be a while before they add any more than the next 2.
Yeah, and when you look at, the way the NBA did it back in the late 80s, remember, Miami and Orlando, Charlotte came on,
Minnesota,
Minnesota came on, and so they did it that way. And I do think there's enough talent in the league as well to support it. I mean, you got guys, on the bench that aren't even playing. You got, 2 and 3 superstars on a single team. It may create some more parity, something like that. And so, no, I'm all for expansion, man. And selfishly, I want to go to those cities. I want to go back to Seattle. I want to go to Vegas. I want Vancouver to come back. Like, I've never been to Vancouver. And so selfishly, I'm all for it. If you would ask me this question 10 years ago, I'd have been like, nah, we can't handle expansion. But now I think the league where it is, its popularity, how global it is, the amount of star power that's in the league right now, I think we can handle expansion.
Prediction: in, let's say, 3 years, the Seattle Supersonics will be back in the league. They won't be very good, but their leading scorer at 17.8 points per game will be Drew Timme. He'll be leading that expansion team, and he'll be a full-time starter once the NBA expands. He's the type of player that would really benefit from more NBA teams.
Yeah, it was you brought that up, and I was thinking you might go a different route. In the expansion draft, the Seattle Sonics take Bronny James. Hey, Bronny. Hey, Vegas might do that because his dad might own the team in a few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
that would be interesting. But yeah, there are a lot of good players, man, that just aren't in it. Like, think about a guy like Terrence Davis. A lot of fans love TD, loved what he did for us here, won him back. This guy's not even in the league right now. Chimezie Metu is looking for a new home right now. And when you look at rosters too, Whitey, there's so many young guys. Maybe the expansion will bring back some of the veterans. Maybe a team, can add a veteran or two now instead of having all these young guys on the roster.
Yeah, Terrence Davis, another prediction. Yeah, he's the first guy to score a basket for the Toronto Raptors and the new Vancouver Mounties. No one had ever done that before for these two Canadian franchises. Oh, it's going to be tremendous. It's going to be a lot of fun. How about this? I know at 4:00 today now, we're going to talk to Bill Shaikin from the LA Times. We're going to talk to him about this potential ace move to Vegas and what other major league players think about that. But he also wrote about how that all could be affected if the NBA got to Vegas before the A's did, which is something I had not thought about. Because some players, baseball players who are from Vegas say, it's not that big. We can't support, 4 or 5 pro sports teams. The Knights did well, and the Aces are doing well, and the Raiders are doing okay. But just think if the NBA got in there before the A's finalized things, how much more difficult that could make that move to Vegas for the A's.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I hadn't even thought about it.
I hadn't either.
You got the Raiders. The Golden Knights are, they're selling out too. Like you bring in an NBA team, and no offense, but, the NBA has way more star power than Major League Baseball. So, the A's come here and they're the 4th team in the town, and they're not going to be very good. And it's going to be 130 degrees outside when they play.
Right.
Like, so, why would teams come? And I could argue the Aces would outdraw them, depending on, the Aces are a back-to-back champions, 10,000 plus sellout last night. And so, you're right. I can't wait to have our guest coming up at the top of the hour because it just seems like it's doomed, man, from the start here.
So what does that mean for us in Sacramento? We'll talk more about that with Bill Shaikin when he joins us at 4:00. When we come back, what tier does our buddy Zach Harper? We know we had him on. He loves the DeRozan deal. Loves it. So how high on his list of NBA tiers does he place the Kings? I was a little disappointed. See how you feel. We come right back with that next. Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Oh, this is too bad. We've been talking a little bit about the Lakers today because, Bronny, but also there's a report that the Lakers are talking to the Trailblazers about Jerami Grant. How about this, Drapes? Drapes, of course, joining us from Vegas. Jovan Buha says, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, they have somewhere between neutral to negative trade value across the league. There are certain teams that have interest in maybe one of those guys, but there are very few, if any, teams that have interest in multiple of those guys. That's ultimately been why the Lakers have not been able to find a deal. That's kind of like what we used to say about, HB and Huerter and that Toyota
package.
The Lakers don't even have that to offer.
Right. You put that package together, and teams are like, I don't want all that. I don't, you know what I mean? It's, and maybe you'll be able to splinter a guy here or there, but then you don't get much return there. So, but yeah, their Toyota Corolla Elite package is not getting any traction at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they ain't got nothing done yet. But how about the teams that have got something done? Our buddy Zach Harper in The Athletic, he has his tiers here. This is it's kind of a power rankings thing, but he lists the teams in the following tiers. He's got Cooper flag positioning, so teams that are kind of tanking. Play-in teams, play-in tournament or better. Then he's got playoff teams, brink of contention, and legitimate contenders. All right, so for tier 1, the contenders, this is current after all the moves of the summer so far. 1 Boston, 2 OKC, 3 Dallas, 4 Minnesota, 5 Denver Nuggets. That, according to Zach Harper, those are the 5 legitimate NBA contenders. Any issue with any of that so far, Drapes? I don't think I'd have Denver that high. I mean, I don't think they're a legitimate contender right now.
And maybe I'm not sold on Dallas, and I understand they made it to the finals. Part of me feels like they just got hot at the right time. Like it all just came together at the right time. Minnesota fell apart. Denver got ousted. Like if Dallas matched up with Denver, would it have been a different? I don't know if I'm willing to consider the Dallas Mavericks, because I'm looking at his tier list right now. He has them number 3 behind Boston and OKC. I don't know if I'm willing to do that yet. That's just me, though.
Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably doing it because, look, they did get to the finals. I got to give them their due. And that's not necessarily, correct reasoning, but maybe it's just kind of a tip of the cap to them for that. Tier 2, brink of contention, according to Zach Harper. 6 Knicks, 7 Pelicans, 8 Sixers, 9 Bucks, and that's it for the brink of contention teams. Pelicans are awfully high up there.
Wow,
for a team without a center. For a team that does not have a center, they're very high in these rankings.
I think he likes the DeJounte Murray move. Let me open up what he says here. Did they get better? I think they did, but the Pelicans still need an answer at center. I love the addition of Murray. He didn't fix the Hawks' defensive issues, but he will absolutely bolster an elite defense in the NBA. I like the Tice addition. I forgot about Daniel Tice, but I'm not sure they can utilize him as his full-time center. But we got to see what happens with Brandon Ingram as well. 7's pretty high for a team that finished 7th in the Western Conference last season. Don't you think so? Like, I understand. I like the Pelicans too, but that seems kind of high to me.
Right. I'm with you. And then if you go just by the teams in the West, we have OKC, Dallas, Minnesota, Denver, the Pelicans 5. So we're already through 5 teams in the West. No Kings yet as we get to tier 3 playoff teams. 10 Indiana, 11 Orlando, 12 Phoenix, 13 Warriors, 14 Kings. What? This is blasphemy. I don't agree with that. What do you think, Drapes?
Yeah, this is based on that. And tell me if my math is wrong. According to Zach Harper, the Kings would be the 8th best team in the Western Conference.
Right.
That would be a failure, in my opinion. I would be shocked. And I don't get why he has the Warriors ahead of them.
I don't either.
He actually says he thinks they got better. He said, even though they lost Klay Thompson as a gut punch, his replacement, Buddy Hield, can really shoot the ball. Anderson's a good defender and a playmaker. And Melton, when healthy, is a huge difference maker in the backcourt. The Warriors feel a bit more balanced and reliable as long as Draymond Green stops getting suspended. Here's the thing, though, Whitey. I don't know if you looked at, he has him ranked 13th.
Yeah.
Look at the last rank. He had him at 10th. I don't know when the last ranking was, or was that last year, but 10th? And then I look at the Sacramento Kings. Did they get better? ? I love what the Kings did and do not understand the negativity surrounding DeMar DeRozan sign and trade. Sacramento absolutely got better, but its defense will remain as shaky as the prior 2 seasons. The Kings will be in the mix for top 6 in the West. What do you think, Whitey?
I don't know how, if you like the move so much, how are they 14th when you last had them ranked 14th? How do they not move up at all? And
you said they got better.
Yeah.
Right?
And that does seem to be something. I know Kendra Andrews had something similar in ESPN.com, which we'll get to at some point today. And she looked at the Kings and she's focusing on that defense. Oh, I think she used the term desperate on defense. So now all of a sudden, everyone's focusing on the Kings defense. Oh, it's not good enough. It was better last year. And I know it's not looking great, but we can't ignore the fact that it was much better last year than it had been the year before.
Yeah, and this is the thing when you have, stuff like this, in terms of, a narrative being spit about a team. You're right, Whitey, and especially when Keon Ellis was inserted into the starting lineup, the defense improved dramatically. And I'm looking at the stats right now, and when you look at the Kings' defense last season, they were 14th in defensive rating, Whitey. That's not terrible.
Right.
So this narrative, I get the defense is an issue and you want it to be better, but if I'm correct, Denver, when they won a championship a couple of years ago, did not have a top 10 defense.
15th.
So 15th. So all of a sudden now, because we talk about Sacramento, there's this narrative, oh, their defense got to be better. Their defense got to be better and all this. And it's like, actually, it wasn't the defense that let them down last season. It was the offense. Last year, they were 13th in offense after being number one in the season before that.
Yeah. Now, I will give our buddy Zach Harper credit because at the end of his Kings review here in The Athletic, he says the Kings will be in the mix for top 6 in the West. So that's nice, and I think we can all be on board with that, right? We'd love to say Kings going to be top 4, and maybe they are, but I think realistically, if you look at this team right now, you have to say this is a top 6. This is a team that plays well. This is a top 6 West team. Are we all on board with that?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you look at it too, last year was a disappointing season. We weren't happy with the season, but yet they still won 46 games. And you add DeMar DeRozan. Tell me who we lost that's going to impact us, our win total. No offense to HB and Chris and all those guys, Sasha and Davion, but the addition of DeMar DeRozan to me adds 5 more wins, and the loss of those guys doesn't give me 5 more losses or 3 more losses. So I think this Kings team is going to be a 50-win team this upcoming season. And I truly believe the Kings offense will be even more efficient with DeMar DeRozan out there.
We
talked about we talked about the free throw shooting, which was a major issue for this team. I think the Kings offense will be better than 13th this upcoming season.
If there's really good news for the Kings in this, well, assuming that Zach Harper's right, here's the good news. Tier 4 play-in tournament teams or better. He's got in that group behind the Kings, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the Rockets. And then in the next tier, he's got the Spurs. So, yeah, I think the Kings could be a little higher, but he's got a lot of teams that we are concerned with, especially Memphis and Houston. He's got the Kings well ahead of them. So I hope he's right. That would be nice.
No, I agree with you. The Lakers, and this all could change, right? If they get Jerami Grant, but they haven't gotten better. Sure, they added Dalton Connect, and I think he'll help them. But, they're in a situation, and you tell me, though, real quick here as we talk about the Lakers. Let's not forget, they did finish ahead of us in the standings last year. I do feel like people are overlooking them just a little bit, meaning, they made it to the playoffs. And sure, they didn't add anybody except Dalton Connect, but I'm not ready to write off LeBron and AD yet. I still think when you look at the top 2 top duos in the Western Conference, LeBron and AD are in the mix. And so I'm not willing to just close the door and be like, they're going to miss the playoffs or anything. It was a bad season for the Lakers, and yet they still finished ahead of us. So I'm still scared of them.
I think there's a sense, rightly or wrongly, that that's a team that's older, and because the supporting cast seems like they're wearing thin a little bit, people expect AD and LeBron to at some point start to fade. AD's playing out of his mind so far for the Team USA. Of course, he plays really well, and you just never know about LeBron, but I would guess that's why. Plus the fact that I'll speak for myself, people want the Lakers to fail, especially around here, so that's one reason why you're looking for any cracks in the facade, any flaws. So you can say, see that? And then, they really probably last 2 years played their best basketball at the end of the year, I would say as well. So it seems like, oh, they're no good. And then they have a little spurt at the end to their credit. But I think it lends to that perception that, oh, this team, man, they're fading fast.
You know what they're doing in LA right now, Whitey, on Sports Talk Radio? They're looking at this same list and saying, the Warriors, the Kings, we were better than those guys. What are we doing here? And so it just depends on how you look at it. I do think when you look at this list, the Clippers falling the way they have, the loss of Paul George is massive. And Zach Harper says, did they get better? ? Absolutely not. They've done an admirable job bringing in Batum, Derek Jones Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr., but they don't combine into one player on the court. Like Paul George was elite both ends of the floor. And so I do think the Clippers fall back. With that being said, you and I would not be surprised if Memphis makes a run or Houston makes a run. And so I'm going to, no offense to Zach Harper, it's just one man's opinion, and it's good for our show that we get to talk about it. But these rankings are a little skewed, I think.
All right. We'll have to call him on that next time we have him on. We're coming back with the story of the Summer League stud who played like a scrub and set a record in the process. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Don't miss limited time doorbusters during Pro Savings Days right now at Lowe's. Starting July 15th for 3 days only, you can save $60 when you buy a DeWalt 12-volt multi-head drill driver. Was $189, now $129. Plus, get 50% off a DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece screwdriver bit set. Shop these deals and more while supplies last. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Valid 7/15 through 7/17. Selection varies by location.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and they have a special deal going right now just for you. Receive your first month's payment up to $1,500 on them on select new 2024 GLE vehicles, or the all-new E-Class now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Rates begin at 1.99% APR on select certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Plus, you can always check out their other deals at mbofstockton.com or head on down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by McKee Brothers, Clemmy, Reuter, and Heat, and Dawson Oil Company.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of.
Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Still waiting to hear from Mike Brown, who met with the media today. It's a big deal for Mike Brown, Drapes, because it was official today, right? We found out weeks ago that he was going to be signing his extension, but now it's official and it's signed, and so this is the first time addressing the media and Kings fans since he officially signed his deal. So this is a big deal.
Oh yeah, my man got paid. You know what I mean? He got his extension, and I think with the deal gives him another 4 years, right? Takes him out 4 seasons in Sacramento. This season, the option year, and then the 2 that they extended, if I'm correct. And so our boy Brandon Nunes, who was in the press conference with Mike Brown, he's right behind me over here, chopping up the sound, and we'll be bringing to you that to you shortly.
Attaboy. Hey, what do you think of some of these comments here on the text line from the 916? De'Aaron and Keegan, both good defenders. Keon should come off the bench and back up De'Aaron.
Keon, no, I'm with that. I agree. You got De'Aaron and you got Keegan. I think when you look at the totality of this team, Keon could be a really good change of pace, sort of assuming that Davion role with this team. Like I said before, though, if he's knocking down the 3 at a high clip and shooting 3 to 4 or 5 a game, all right, then I could bring him in as a starter. But I think to start the season, his perfect role is coming off the bench. Him and Malik are your backup guards as of now.
By the way, we as basketball fans, we always get caught up in who's starting. But I'll tell you what, this Team USA right now, the bench unit that they have, and I understand it's a very talented team, so no matter how you divvy it up, the bench is going to be great. But this bench unit, which is Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, and today was Devin Booker. This is the greatest bench ever in the history of any sport. And they come in and it's like, oh my goodness. They come in with so much energy. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that team playing together. Just Bam and AD defensively together. It's like a force of nature, Drapes.
Yeah, that that 2-man, big man combination.
Yeah.
And what they were able to do in the second half. And Anthony Davis, I'm an Anthony Davis fan, ladies and gentlemen. You're right, Whitey, and you said it earlier. That dude has been phenomenal so far on both ends of the floor. And he took on the matchup with Jokic today. Jokic struggled in terms of efficiency from the field. Anthony Davis was a shot blocker out there, and Bam Adebayo knocking down corner threes as well. And so, and you're right, man. And then I watched my boy Anthony Edwards. I mean, he just is in attack mode all the time. Like to have, arguably, the best, 22-year-old or whatever he is in the world coming off your bench. I mean, I think that's where the Team USA will have its advantage, right? It's, the starters will play tough, they'll battle, but when other teams have to go to their bench and we go to our bench, it's a wrap. It's over.
How about this from the 916? Can you guys clear up whether or not Malik Monk coming back to the Kings was predicated on him being given the starting job to start next season. What do you think of that? I don't know if that person talks that way, but just for the fun of it. Can you guys clear that up for me? Was it predicated on Malik starting this year?
What accent is that from, though?
I don't know. It's like probably Jersey or something. I don't really know.
Boston or something?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember where I'm from.
I can't imagine that would be like, yes, sure, Malik, we'll start you if you resign. Even Malik said himself, yes, I want to start, but I'm willing to do what the team asked me to do, to help us win. And so I can't imagine, this isn't college basketball where you go on a recruiting trip and you look at, hey, you come here, you're our starting center. You're the guy. I think Malik understands what it is. And here's the thing, and this is what I said earlier, Whitey. Even if, let's say, the Kings did promise Malik, you're our starter, then does that handcuff Monty McNair? What if Phoenix offers Devin Booker? Nope, can't get Devin Booker. We got Malik as starter. Can't do that. What if Jalen? You know what I mean? And so I just don't see a franchise doing that.
What do you think of this? I have no idea, but I wonder if that was something that the Kings might have offered him if they had to. Maybe. I'm with you. They wouldn't have wanted to. And then maybe it just never came to that. Malik's like, you know what? I've looked at what's out there. I want to come back here. I wonder if it was something that they had considered, if that's what it takes, we might have to do it. I don't know, but I think one way or the other, we can safely say Malik Monk was not guaranteed a starting job here.
Yes, exactly. I think we all agree that, there may be an opportunity for him to start. And I would also argue, when you look at Malik's decision to resign, if I'm him, one of the questions I have for Mike Brown, in case you didn't know this already, in case he didn't know this already, is, Mike, I've been here 2 years and I haven't started one game. What's the deal? And I'm sure they had a conversation at some point about that, whether it was during the negotiations or during the season or whatever, because to be here for 2 years, have the injuries we've had, and for Malik not to start a single game, it has to be something that would have had to have been addressed, I think.
Summer League today, the Knicks held on and beat the Kings 106-105. Kings went on a furious fourth quarter rally, briefly had the lead, but then your boy was it Kolek threw one in. Kolek threw one in with the left hand off the glass with 2 seconds to go for a 3-point play, and the Kings were defeated. But the Kings shot the ball really well today. Keon Ellis shot the ball well, 10 of 18, 5 of 10 beyond the arc, and the Kings made 12 of their 30 3-pointers. It was really exciting. We had some new crackerjack play-by-play guy on at the end of that game here on KCK, doing a great job of bringing us the final moments. But the Kings shot the ball well.
It's good to know G-Man is safe, though. Let me just say, it's good to know his job is safe, because whoever did that earlier.
For that. That was off the cuff. Sensational.
You did a decent job then. All right, how about that? You did a decent job.
Well, I appreciate that coming from you. But somebody who did not shoot the ball well last night, Alex Sarr. Last night, Wizards rookie big man Alex Sarr had an historically poor showing in a loss to Portland. Now, let's keep in mind, it's Summer League. It doesn't matter. But he did set a record. I remember, I think Trae Young, one of his first games, he was like 1 for 13 or something like that. Didn't matter. But Alex Sarr was 0 for 15 Traves. 0 for 15 when you're 7 feet tall. That's not
hard
easy
to do, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this then. Is Alex Sarr a pro? If my boy Bronny James did that, it would be, get this guy out of here. He doesn't belong. You got the number 2 overall pick looking horrible last night. Yeah. I think Sarr would be fine.
He had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. By the way, Bronny has gone 0 for 15, but from the 3-point line so far in 3 or 4 games. Bronny hadn't made a 3 yet. He's 0 for 15. So he kind of has done this.
Exactly. And people say he's not a pro. He shouldn't be in the league. But yeah, Alex Sarr is. Here's the thing about Bronny, and this is what I worry about him. I don't know what position he plays in the NBA. He's not a 1. He can't shoot, so he's not a 2. Who is he? And he has to develop. And I understand, they talk to, he's not going to be a G League guy or a 2-way guy. Yeah, maybe not a 2-way guy, but he's going to have to spend some time in the G League. He needs reps. He needs playing time. Sarr, I'm not worried about. Here's the thing about Sarr that I think, we'll see during the season. He will benefit from a strong point guard. I don't know who's going to be the starting point guard out there in Washington, but he needs somebody to set him up. He's not a, put the ball and get into his bag kind of guy just yet. He needs a veteran point guard or a top-tier point guard to really help him out.
All I know is the day after the draft, I was talking to somebody. I'll just say his name rhymes with Rary Reynolds. Okay. And this person told me Alex Sarr is not going to be a very good player. Now, this is just one summer league game, so we'll see. But he did last night. Let's see, most field goal attempts by a player without a make in a summer league game since at least 2017. And if it had been a regular season game, which it was not, huge difference. But if it were, Sarr's 15 attempts without a field goal would be tied for the second most in NBA history. But it's no big deal. It's like, oh, look at that. But it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. The thing about summer league, and you can show off and look great like Reed Shepherd, and that's like, man, okay, this guy will be great. But if you struggle, remember Victor Wembanyama's first summer league game last year. He was a stiff. He looked awful. And so I don't think summer league is an indicator of how great your career will be. And so I'm not worried about Sarr. I think he'll be all right, man.
Boy, I don't envy him being on that team. That team has a long way to go.
Oh, but he's going to play with your boy Valanciunas, right? Like, how about that front court? That's a nice solid 4 or 5 man combo out there.
And then Kuzma also up front with him? I don't know.
Kuz. Who else they got? Bub Carrington.
Yeah.
Out there.
Your boy Jordan Poole.
Koulibaly. Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
They got they got a couple of misfits on that squad, pieces that necessarily don't fit together. But yeah, man, it's they got some young pieces though, and that's why I think moving a guy like Kuzma is probably in the best interest for Washington. Let these young guys develop. Let these young guys learn on the fly. Kyle Kuzma at 28 is still trying to establish himself. I think he sort of holds some of these young guys back. Jordan Poole the same way. Poole's out there chucking up shots. And I understand you probably can't get a whole lot of value for those guys. But if I'm Washington, man, I'm looking to move on.
Remember the kids, and I don't know, maybe your school year was different. But I can remember like summertime, this is great. You'd have a couple friends like, yeah, I got to go to summer school. It's like, oh, man, that's terrible. That's how Johnny Davis is on the Wizards because this is his third year playing summer league. Johnny, this is summer. Let's go to Cancun. I got to play summer league again, bro.
I got summer school. I failed English again or whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's too bad. All right, we're going to catch up with Brendan, right? Brandon Nunes?
Yes, he is here. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And he was in the Mike Brown Media Conference. So we'll find out all about that next year on Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down to 23 points. Matched De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the waterway.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
There are a lot of so-called fast food deals out there. But do any of them have the Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, crispy fries, everyone's favorite nugs, and a drink for just $5 like Wendy's Biggie Bag? Nope. And that's why no other deals can be called the Wendy's Biggie Bag. That and a little thing called plagiarism. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery.
Quick Quack Car Wash takes the drama out of keeping your car clean.
Let's wash the car. Don't spray the hose inside the car.
Our convenient wash packages make it easy to get your car soaked, scrubbed, and on your way. Protect your car from sun, rain, and pollen with a ceramic duct wash, and get our in-wash light show and an unbeatable clean.
Oh, the kids filled the gas tank with water.
Of course they did. Quick Quack Car Wash. Come in today and get 25% off any wash.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebate.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 7/31/24.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
One of the best things about Summer League is that anybody who's anybody is there. Jay is there. Kyle Draper's there. And Drapes, it sounds like you've run into a celebrity down there, huh?
Yeah, I got this guy, Brandon Nunes. Let me tell you all you need to know about our Sactown Sports 1140 Kings Insider. I'm hanging out at the gym, the Cox Pavilion. I'm sitting front row, as you walk in. And you literally have to walk past me to go to your seats and go to the media section. In comes Brandon Nunes. Walks right by me. And I'm like, dang, he big timed me. I thought we were boys. I thought I was his guy.
I didn't see you.
I know, because, dude, you were trying to avoid the paparazzi and everything. I was like, man, he didn't even say what's up. I had to stop him and ask for a picture and autograph and everything. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's on me. I got to humble myself a little bit. All this has been getting to me. So.
How you enjoying Vegas so far, man?
It's been good, man. It's, somehow not as hot as it was in Sacramento a week ago. So I'm not complaining about that. And basketball-wise, it's been pretty entertaining, typical summer league stuff, but seeing Keon and Kobe do a little bit more with some of their game, getting a feel for some of the new two-way guys. And then we just got to talk to Mike Brown right now. First time since the DeRozan deal.
Mm-hmm. What stood out about the Mike Brown media conference today, Brendan?
Yeah, I think I passed some of that audio on. I'm sure you guys will get there eventually, but
we deleted it. We saw Brandon Nunes delete
for the best.
Yeah,
it went to our spam folder, right?
Right. I think that there was a couple different things that he touched on Malik Monk today, and the conversation about him not wanting to come off the bench, how Malik had talked about that, mentioned that towards the end, and obviously Malik wanting to do whatever it takes to win. So they still seem to be on the same page there. A little bit on Colby Jones, or I'm sorry, Devin Carter,
right,
and the injury that's taken place there, but still having him around the team. And then of course the coaching staff changes. He said that he's been talking to some people out here about potentially bringing them on, or he's been talking to guys in Sacramento as well. Right. So trying to fill in those spots, because obviously with Lindsay out of there, there's also Jordy, there's Dolkeys. So 3 different openings. And obviously DeMar DeRozan, he thinks that DeMar is going to make them a lot better. Mentioned the fact that he's clutch and big time a few times over, and also mentioned that he thinks they can make DeMar better and more efficient as well.
Yeah, exactly. DeMar, 48% from the field is pretty good, but routinely he's above 50%. You brought up Lindsay. Were you shocked that did that catch you off guard? I'm like, all right, she's leaving, but then the Lakers. I'm like, dang, of all teams.
Yeah, definitely caught me off guard. Mike joked, hopefully she doesn't take any secrets over there because they do all right against the Lakers in recent times. But yeah, definitely caught me off guard a little bit. I mean, she was just on the bench for the G League, 2 days ago? And today she's not over there, obviously. But happy for her. And I think that the fact that all these guys are getting promoted or getting jobs in other organizations speaks a lot about Sacramento's coaching staff and the success and just the way that they're looked at around the league.
Brendan, I wanted to ask what you thought of something Monty said to J-Ross a couple of days ago. And I know that, some of this may be GM speak, and GMs aren't going to tell us this is what we're trying to do and this is when we're going to do it. But he indicated that this could be, he expects it will be the basic core that the Kings take in to camp. Do you think Kings fans should feel comfortable if that's the case?
I think if that is the case, that it's fine. I think Devin Carter's injury definitely plays a part in this. There's not that same log jam necessarily that I think was the idea at that guard spot. And people can forget. I feel like Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes, before he got moved, both those guys are getting talked about in a little bit of a crazy way at times to me. Like, they're still very effective, productive players that fit well, and specifically Kevin's case here, in Sacramento's offense. And I think having another playmaker like DeMar that draws double teams, it's even more important to have that spacing around him. So I still would expect that they're going to be active in trying to find something. I do think there's a sense of GM speak there, but it caught my attention for sure. And I think that if they went in with this group, it would make sense, especially with Devin being out, but doesn't mean that something couldn't happen at the deadline either.
Yeah, let me ask you real quick, as you watch Summer League here and watch our Summer Kings, do you think Colby, do you think Keon, Mason Jones have shown you what they were supposed to out here, or has it been sort of a mixed bag with them so far?
Yeah, it's definitely been up and down. Colby had a really good second game. Outside of that, he was really quiet. Keon was the one that stood out today. Obviously, he has 29 points in this one, a really big first half. I know I got a box score.
You got a box score?
I got a box score here, right?
No, I'm not going to do that to you.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that you could see Keon's handle a little bit more today, running some pick and roll, looked a little tighter, throwing those pocket passes. So I kind of watched for some of that stuff, some of the little skill stuff, and like, that might be something that could translate into different aspects. But overall, I do think that they've been fairly underwhelming, like bringing the ball up the floor. No traditional point guard on the team.
Yeah, so you tweeted that out, right?
Yeah, that seems to just a lot of turnovers. So I think a little bit of a tough context for some of these guys, but for the most part, I think it's been pretty up and down with some promising flashes from those main three: the Mason, Colby, and
Keon.
Don't you think, Brennan, this is a leading question, I know, but in my opinion, that was maybe the primary reason Keon was in Summer League, was to work on his handle. To me, as you look at his game, that's definitely an area of improvement that is needed. And if he can improve there, he can get a lot more minutes. So I guess my roundabout way of asking, wasn't that probably the primary reason he was in Summer League, was to improve that part of his game?
Yeah, that would be my guess. I think that and the leadership, some of the self-creation stuff, which the handle goes hand in hand with that. He's already a good shooter. And I think just getting your confidence up, it seemed like he already had a good confidence level. But if you come out here and you're able to play well, able to have these borderline 30-point games, and by the way, there's like 4 blocks, there's 2 steals. He's doing everything out here. So I think that helps with the confidence. But for him, it's definitely going to be the handle and he might be filling that backup point guard slot. I know Jordan McLaughlin's there, but I think that they could kind of be competing for that in a way.
Yeah, I hear you. Drew Timme. Just give me your scouting report on him. I was talking to Jay Triano about it, about whether there's a spot for him within the organization, maybe a Stockton King. What do you think?
I think he makes a lot of sense in Stockton. I think it's important to, you probably prioritize 4 or 5 guys down in Stockton, and it's important for them to have good context of a team that's running and able to run similar sets to what you do with your main club. And I think that Timme can almost function as not to be disrespectful, but like a practice squad Domas. And I think that getting those reps for guys can be helpful. I do think at the NBA level, the defense, I have some questions there. And so
is he really 6'10", you think? Is he really?
Yeah,
he's listed.
Maybe a little smaller.
A little smaller, I think.
Smaller.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I could see that. And he doesn't play super physical.
Right.
So, I don't see it for the Sacramento team, but I think it could make a lot of sense for Stockton.
Brendan, I want to give you credit because you just invented a term as far as I know. I've never heard it before, and it's probably going to become a stat. You said Keon had a borderline 30-point game. That's going to be an NBA stat. Who leads the league in borderline 30-point games and borderline 10 rebound games? You watch, that'll be a stat.
Borderline triple-double, right?
Yes. Thanks, Brendan. We appreciate your time, and we're going to be getting to some of the audio you supplied for. So thanks, and have a good time there. And hey, at least say hi to Drapes next time you see him.
Right.
Huh?
I know. I'm borderline big time. So.
Good stuff, man. Thanks,
you, Brendan.
All right, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. We'll be getting back to that. Drapes, coming up, we're going to talk to Bill Shaikin from the LA Times. He wrote yesterday about MLB players from Vegas, what they think of the A's move to Vegas. And turns out they don't think much of it. And what does that have to do with the Sacramento situation as well? We'll get into all that with Bill Shaikin next on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at Elk Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elkgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt power tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools and better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Well, Drapes, I hate to say it, but my prediction that the Kings would win Summer League has crashed and burned. It's not going to happen, especially after they fell today. So let's turn our attention to a different sport. Nice enough to join us, big-time baseball writer. Our buddy Mark Kreidler hopes he can become this guy when he grows up, from the LA Times. Bill Shaikin with us. How are you today, Bill?
I'm doing well. Mark is awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's a good buddy of mine. I know yesterday you wrote about how MLB players from Vegas feel about the A's potential move there, and Bill, it sounds like they're not crazy about it. Is that the case?
I think the one thing that was common to most of their comments to me was not so much that Vegas doesn't want a Major League Baseball team, but that Vegas wants a good Major League Baseball team. The Golden Knights, the hockey team, has already won the Stanley Cup. They've only been in existence a few years. The Aces, the WNBA team, back-to-back champs. The Raiders, everybody loves the NFL. And now here comes the A's, and they're not very good. So, okay, they're not here in Vegas, I guess. So you'd say not a problem yet, but the history of the A's in recent years is that they don't spend a lot of money. So when I talked to the owner about that, he's like, well, we haven't spent money because we haven't had the new stadium and all the money that goes with that. So ultimately we'll find out. Either the A's spend money when they have a new stadium and they win, or they don't and they don't.
Hey, Bill, Kyle Draper here. And I want to continue that point you just made. I'm afraid that Fisher and Cavill and all those guys are running the Oakland A's as a bottom basement franchise. And then eventually when they get to Vegas, they're going to, throw money in, be all glitzy and glamorous. But it's going to take some time. When you look at the Vegas market, and this is something you touched on, how did it go for a team like the Oakland Raiders, let's say, when they moved there? Did it take some time, or are the Raiders still almost second-class citizens to the opponents that they're playing against?
Well, I mean, as much as this pains me to say this as a baseball guy, like, football is our national sport. So everybody's going to go see the NFL. And one of the things the Raiders have going for them, and maybe their players don't like it, is that if you live in Pittsburgh or Kansas City or somewhere else, and you're thinking about going to Vegas for a weekend, well, why not make it the weekend that the Steelers are there or the Chiefs are there? I think the problem with the baseball proposal is the advocates who pitched the state legislature in Nevada on this are arguing the same thing was going to happen in baseball. And the players I talked to said, yeah, maybe the Steelers on a Sunday, but you think Pirates fans are coming out here for Tuesday and Wednesday games? Probably not.
Right, right.
Bill Shaikin with us from the LA Times. Bill, I know you asked these guys from Vegas about the move from Oakland to Vegas. But here in Sacramento, of course, we're supposed to be the stopover for a few years. If the Vegas end of this deal fell through, how feasible, in your opinion, is the notion of the A's potentially staying in Sacramento?
Well, I mean, they would have to resolve the same problem that they failed to resolve in Oakland, which is, okay, who's building a ballpark? Who's paying for it? They never got that done in Oakland. They'd have to get it done in Sacramento. And while it's fine to play for 2 or 3 or 4 years in the minor league stadium, it is not going to be okay to play in Sacramento weather without a dome. Just like the A's would have a dome in Vegas, just like we all watched the All-Star game last night in Texas and saw that they had a dome because for some crazy reason, they built a brand new stadium like 20 years ago, and it didn't occur to them that it was hot, so they had to build another one. So this one has a roof. So that would be the number one question in Sacramento.
Hey, Bill, I read your article, and it wasn't all negative. There were some people who believed that it could work in Vegas. What was some of the reasoning for that? What were some of the things that they said, why it could work in Vegas?
Well, Vegas is a really good baseball town. As the population has grown, participation in youth baseball has grown. A lot of major leaguers have come out of Las Vegas, which is why I was able to write that story talking to all these guys who've come out of Las Vegas. So I think there's an audience there. And if you look at the AAA team in Vegas, which is actually the A's AAA team, there are plenty of nights when the AAA team here outdraws the A's in Oakland. It's a beautiful facility. It's unfortunate that it can't be expanded, maybe turned into what the A's stadium could be here in Vegas. But, it's okay. But again, bottom line is you got to win. I think everybody thinks when you get a new team the first year or two, people are going to come. It's fun. It's something new. It's different. Let's try it. And it's like anything else in sports. If you're not any good, especially in Vegas, you could probably find some other entertainment option.
Yeah. Bill Shaikin with us from the LA Times. As you mentioned, Vegas is a good baseball town. Sacramento is also a great baseball town, Bill. So a lot of fans here really excited about the A's coming here for a couple of years even. They get mad at me because I point out this temporary move is just fraught with peril. I'm just wondering if you could share with us your views and any views that you've garnered from your talks with people in and around the majors. How confident is baseball that this temporary move to Sacramento can actually work for all parties involved?
I think it's going to have to, and there's been a lot of conversation between the league and the players union recently about how it's going to work. So example number one, the River Cats play on grass right now. But if you're going to have the River Cats still there, which you are, and then the A's come in, you're pretty much playing on that surface every day, and grass isn't going to work in that summer heat. So you're going to bring in turf, and the temperature of a grass surface is usually 30 to 50 degrees cooler than a turf surface. And, I don't think I need to remind anybody listening to this show that it can get a little warm in Sacramento this next year.
Yeah.
So what baseball has done is worked with its turf specialist, an internationally renowned guy who, turned Rickwood Field for people who saw the Willie Mays tribute game. He turned that from a sort of minor league stadium in disrepair to a beautiful ballpark. And so they found a kind of turf, because now there are different kinds. It's not just one kind. And they think they found a way to make it as cool as you possibly can. Is it going to be as good as playing on grass? No. Is it going to be good enough for a short-term solution? They think it is.
Interesting. Hey, Bill, I understand, the when it comes to Sacramento, the facilities and the stadium. What do you think, when you look at the proposed Vegas stadium, how does that compare to major league ballparks? And are players raising any concerns about, playing in substandard conditions, whether it's in Sacramento or in Vegas?
Not too much, because in terms of a brand new major league ballpark in Vegas, there are standards that anybody would have to live up to. It's the A's or anybody else. So they'll be getting a major league quality ballpark. There are also standards for minor league ballparks. And there's a lot of construction going on behind left field in Sacramento right now. They're starting to put in the upgrades that will be required to bring that ballpark up to temporary major league standards. And, if the A's do go to Vegas the way they plan to, the River Cats will be the beneficiary because they'll have, major league standards for a minor league ballpark.
Bill, how about this? And I remember when Tony Clark played. I love Tony Clark, head of the Players Union now. But, he raises things like, well, we might talk to baseball about starting games, day games early if we have to beat the Heat in Sacramento. My question is, how much say does the Players Union have here? Obviously, the Players Union can make suggestions. They can raise objections. But when it comes to this move, how much leverage does the Players Union actually have in determining how something is or isn't done?
The Players Union has absolutely no say about where the A's play. That's strictly an ownership decision. And I think there are a lot of A's fans back in Oakland, understandably, who would like the deals to fall through both in Sacramento and Las Vegas.
Yeah, sure.
But certainly in Sacramento, that's not happening. They're going to be in Sacramento next year. What the Players Union does is it's called defects bargaining if you ever study labor relations. But basically, here's a decision management made. Management gets to make the decision to talk about what the effects will be. So in this term, it's player health and safety. So when I asked Tony Clark about morning games, because the minor league team, the YOLO High Wheelers, played a couple morning games a couple weeks ago, that might sound like an interesting idea. And Tony said, yeah, we'd at least want to talk about it. We don't know that it's ever going to happen, but what baseball is trying to do with the schedule for next year, which is almost done, is to make sure that the A's in Sacramento will get as many night games as they possibly can. And sometimes teams will have to fly out to get to another city, and they're trying to make it where if it's getaway day, because there's certain rules in the collective bargaining agreement about how long a flight you can take before a certain game time the next day, they're trying to make it where if you're playing, let's say, Thursday afternoon in Sacramento, the team you should be playing is the Angels or the Giants or the Diamondbacks, or a team that you can play at night and it won't take long to get to their next stop. It should not be the Yankees.
Right.
So they're working on things like that. And Tony did say he thought they would want to talk to Major League Baseball, because MLB runs the minor leagues now too, about maybe starting some morning games for the River Cats.
Up and at them. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, last question for me. When you look at, where this all ends up, where do you think the A's will eventually call home for the long term? Sacramento, Vegas, Oakland, or some other city? Like, can this work? Where does this actually work at long term for the A's?
It will definitely not be Oakland. I covered a stadium deal in Anaheim that fell apart for the Angels when the mayor got cut up in an FBI corruption investigation. And the mayor of Oakland is currently caught up in an FBI corruption investigation. So even before that was off the table. MLB's given it its best shot with Oakland. People in Oakland can argue how sincere MLB was, but that's done. That ship has sailed. Las Vegas is where everybody wants it to end up, and the people I talked to from the league at the All-Star game this week don't see anything that's going to keep that from happening right now. You can always have construction delays, which is why the A's got a fourth-year option on their agreement with Sacramento's River Cats. But right now, I think a lot of mostly, A's fans in Oakland, who, again, understandably would like to see their team stay, are trying to see why this isn't going to work in Vegas. And a lot of the behind-the-scenes discussions right now are just that, behind the scenes. So at some point, things will start happening, and presumably they'll break ground, and then people will see it's happening. And, if they don't break ground by, the time we're talking next summer, then we probably have a larger issue to discover. But there's some time. So.
Yeah. Bill Shaikin from the LA Times. Bill, thank you so much for your time and your insight. We appreciate it very much. Enjoy your baseball summer. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right. Take care.
Yeah. You too.
All right, Bill.
Yeah. Mike Brown spoke today. We're going to hear what Mike Brown had to say when we come right back. Kyle Draper in Vegas today. It's Drive Guys at Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what you doing for Chrysler's Make This the Summer sales event?
Well, this month we have something special that only happens once a year. Big savings on one of America's most capable minivans. Right now you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining 23 Chrysler Pacifica hybrids, and that's on all trims.
Now, you said Chrysler Pacifica hybrids. Those things get 82 miles per gallon E with gas prices so high and $17,000 off MSRP. That's a no-brainer.
And a deal like this only happens once a year, so this is the time to take advantage of this savings at the dealership and at the pump.
The savings won't last long. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 7,500 factory rebates and 9,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 7,500 federal EV tax credit offered by a third party and subject to change. Consult a tax professional for details and eligibility. 82 MPGE combined city highway rating based on fueleconomy.gov EPA rating. Send this net savings while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Well, Drapes, what do you think? We just talked with Bill Shaikin from the LA Times. Very well-connected baseball writer. Sounds like he thinks, well, the A's ain't going back to Oakland, and everybody in baseball thinks this Vegas thing is going to happen. You know, Sacramento's hanging in there, who knows, but it doesn't sound like he likes our chances very much to be the full-time home of the permanent home of the Oakland A's.
Yeah, it didn't sound like it. And, you know, the thing is, the A's have MLB behind them.
Yeah.
You know, like they have earmarked and pinpointed this market as the Oakland A's market or the A's market. And so it doesn't seem good. You know, we'll see how we stand, you know, next week. You know, I drive by the proposed location all the time, and I don't see any work being done. You know, I see the Tropicana remnants of it, you know, a couple of towers still up, but it doesn't seem like anything's being done. And so, you know, like Bill said, if we're in this position next year, then things get really interesting about the future of that club.
By the way, last night, All-Star game, it's a pretty good game. But I, like many, and I think I mentioned this when I was talking with you yesterday, I hated the uniform Drapes. The uniforms were awful. They were just horrible. And I have a solution for baseball going forward, because I said yesterday that I just wish that the players would wear their uniforms like they used to in the All-Star game. And turns out I'm not alone in that. Bryce Harper said the same thing. There's other players that have said, oh, we should just go back to that. But I realize baseball, they want to sell more jerseys and caps. So I have the perfect solution to this. And I'm serious. Okay. This is the perfect solution. So next year, the All-Star game is in Atlanta. So what you do is you take wherever the game is, next year Atlanta, and you pick a year that is very significant in that city's baseball history. So let's say Atlanta, 1974, Hank Aaron, when he hit 715. So all the players in the All-Star game, they wear their own team's uniforms, but they wear throwbacks from whatever year you're honoring. So you can sell throwbacks instead of these stupid pajamas that they wore last night. And all the teams wear, you know, the throwbacks from 1974. And if you have a team that wasn't around then, like Tampa Bay, you can either wear minor league uniforms that you wore back then, or you can do what Tampa Bay actually did a few years ago. They're not throwbacks. They're called faux-backs, where they make up a jersey. The Rays did this one year. They said they had a 1980 throwback day, and this is what we would have worn in 1980, although we weren't really around. So anyway, there you go. Everyone's still wearing their team uniforms, which is what us traditionalists want. And baseball can then sell their goofy, you know, all the throwback caps and jerseys. It's a win-win. It's a great idea. You're welcome. It's a great idea.
Whitey. The things you get fired up about continue to amaze me, man. Continue to amaze me.
I'm telling you,
that's it. The uniforms were hideous.
Yes.
I agree with you. But why does it bother people so much? Why? You watch the games for the sport. the actual sport. I don't care if they wearing boxers, knickers, it don't matter. Raincoats, I don't care. I'm watching it. Like, I'm not going to get upset over some ugly uniforms. They tried, they failed, move on. It's a 1-year deal. Next year, they'll try something new again. Come on, man. Are you really? Is this fake outrage I'm hearing right now? Is that what I'm hearing right now, Whitey? Is this fake outrage?
What it looks like. And baseball is struggling, in today's market to be relevant. And for some reason, baseball, it's almost like baseball's afraid to acknowledge, wow, we have a great past. Like, no. That makes it sound like we're old and staid and boring. The NFL doesn't mind honoring the past and having the Packers wear 1922 throwbacks, whatever it is. It was ugly last night.
Though.
Yeah,
those are ugly, though.
I know.
Those are ugly.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I thought you didn't care what they wore. You don't care what they wear.
I really don't.
You want them wearing, what'd you say? Knickers and boxers and raincoats?
And boxers.
What kind of look is that?
I don't care. Were they ugly? Yes.
Yes.
Is this something where I think, oh, Major League, they got to do something about these ugly uniforms? You know what it is? Well, obviously, it's the money aspect. And you're 100% right about that. But nowadays, these organizations and franchises and clubs are trying to be cool and hip and edgy with it. And sometimes it flops. The Oregon Ducks football team kind of started this. All their alternate jerseys. Speaking of Oregon Ducks, your shirt, it looks like you got from Eugene right there, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, that's a bright shirt there.
Yes.
But, it's a fail. Last night was definitely a fail.
Yeah.
But I don't need Rob Manfred to step in and institute some sweeping change and all that. It failed. It flopped. We'll see what they do next year.
Yeah.
How about that?
To me, you're right, but that's the whole problem. There wasn't a problem. They created the problem. They had this tradition that a lot of people loved. You got two groups. You got baseball fans and non-baseball fans. Baseball fans love the way it used to be. Non-baseball fans don't care. So who do you appeal to with those stupid New Jersey? Nobody. It was stupid. And baseball just created a problem that was easily avoided. That's all. That's why I get it. Baseball keeps getting in its own way and creating problems that don't exist.
Well, you know what's interesting, Whitey? We've been on the air 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the game at all.
Yeah. Well,
so imagine if the uniforms met your standards, met your taste.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about baseball at all.
No,
last night's game at all.
We would have been talking about it for at least an hour solid. You're right. It's a great point.
All right.
At least.
So sometimes bad publicity is good publicity, because we wouldn't be talking about the game at all.
I wonder if next year, seriously, I don't know. How much are we going to be talking about baseball around here, which will be dictated by how interested fans are, how the extent to which fans around here are going to embrace the A's. I'm really curious to see that. No idea.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because we just had Bill on last segment and he talked about, did their article, whether fans will come, what do players think and all of that. The A's, even in Sacramento, will still be a bad team. The payroll will still be, bottom of the barrel.
They'll lose 100 games again this year. Yeah.
They're going to lose 100 games. But will Sacramento fans care about that? And why is it okay, for Sacramento fans to not care, but Vegas fans, if Sacramento is going to support it, why wouldn't Vegas support it? I'm just asking the question.
Because here we only have to 14,000
with
seats.
The Kings, or
14,000.
Yeah.
If you have 14,000, maybe they expanded a little bit, but you got to sell out. And in Vegas, if you have 14,000, it's like they're not going to meet their projections, and that's going to be a financial disaster. But I'm just curious. I don't have an opinion on this because I don't know. Are fans around here the next 3 years going to be, yeah, let's go A's? Or are they just going to say, I don't care about that team, but you know what? The Yankees are in town. The Guardians are out here. I can't wait to go see that. Right. I don't know. I can't imagine people getting that attached to this team that is owned by a guy that doesn't really put much money into the product.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to hear from fans out there, 916-339-1140. If they do come, how much will you support this team that we know is not going to be good? Or is it just an outing where you don't care whether they win or lose? You're just there with your kids just to enjoy something new and different out there.
Yeah, Compio says all-star jersey of the stadium on the back with the player's number and name of the player's team. Yeah, I don't know. Here's some of the messages we're getting today in the chat comments. I'm not sure what's going on, Drapes. How about this from the 209? And I love Compio. Thank you, Compio. I didn't quite follow you. Sorry. From the 209, do each Kings closing lineup against a couple Western Conference contenders, Denver, OKC, Dallas, LA Lakers, etc. Well, no, we're not doing that. That'd take all day. What do you? Can you imagine? What would the closing lineup be against OKC? Drapes, go. We'd be here all day doing that. What is the point of that?
You know what's happening right now. First of all, the show is going off the rails. I'll just call it like it is. But I know it's close to 100 degrees, and this heat wave is really getting in people's heads. Like, we need some games or something. We need football camp to open up next week or something like that. Compio's off his rocker. The 209 is, hey guys, spend the next 6 hours going through. No, we're not going to do that. Can I share with you real quick, and maybe we could talk about this next segment or not, because I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
Enjoying all aspects of Vegas. You know me, I immerse myself in the culture. So I go to the Aces game yesterday, and guess who I saw and actually talked to yesterday?
And this is not someone you've already told us about that you talked to last night?
Correct.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Who?
John Hollinger.
No way.
Confronted John Hollinger yesterday. We were at the Aces game. He walked past. I'm like, John, why are you always hating on my guy, Domantas Sabonis? When are you going to give him some love? When is he going to get the respect that he deserves? And he's like, well, Kyle, what kind of respect does he deserve? And I'm like, dude wasn't even an all-star and everything like that. And, one thing I gleaned from talking to Hollinger yesterday, he talked about his days in the front office in Memphis. And obviously, he knows a lot of basketball and writes about it. But I got the sense that he views the Kings, Whitey, as a cute little story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you got DeRozan. Yeah, you got Sabonis. Just be happy with your 48 wins and a 6 seed. Like, you're not going to be true contenders. And so I got much more to talk about that, next segment. But I had to get that out there. I saw and talked to your boy John Hollinger last night.
I'm glad you did. So more on that encounter. Also, we'll tell you what some fans have to say about the extent to which they're going to be supporting the A's when we come back. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Not as windy Wednesday night, not as cool either. Morning temperatures will start in the low 60s on Thursday. We'll end up in the upper 90s in the afternoon. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for special offers right now. I'm Coach Doug Christie urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and save big on your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle right now. Visit FolsomLakeKia.com.
Okay, if you're sleeping on the hot summer styles and great prices at Kohl's, you're missing out. I just shopped there and scored stylish shirts for my husband, along with some cute crochet dresses for myself. Plus, I saved 30% with my Kohl's card. But even if you don't have one, you can still save an extra 20% on some other great finds and earn Kohl's cash. So what are you waiting for? Take your summer style from hot to sizzling and get to Kohl's. Select styles, 20% off GPO, valid through July 21st. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of consumer cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
The wild-eyed Southern boys are back. 38 special. Rock it into the night. Friday, July 19th at 7:30 at the venue at Thunder Valley. With Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss 38 Special Live.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We got Drapes in Vegas where the Kings fell to the Knicks today, 106-105. Terrific finish for the Kings, came up just short. But Drapes, you just asked the question, how much do fans around here expect to be supporting the A's next year? Just a couple quick responses on the chat. TR says, I ain't supporting no trash team. And Cody Blagg, I think, brings up a really good point. If they had gear with Sac across the front, I'm all in. I don't know if that's going to be a, deal breaker for some Kings fans, but when the team will not acknowledge they're from Sacramento, why should Sacramento really hitch their emotional wagon to the team? I think that's a fair point.
No, it is. It is. And, the A's, to an extent are just using Sacramento as a temporary home.
Sure.
So if you're a Sacramentan, how attached are you going to get to this squad knowing that, the plan is for it to leave Vegas? It's a touchy subject for Sacramentans because, it's something new, it's something fresh in the city. There's going to be some stars that play there, when the Yankees, Red Sox, and all these other teams come to town. But it does feel kind of cheap as well. Like, do you want to spend your hard-earned money and support John Fisher, who is not reinvesting back into the team as well? And so it's sort of a touchy subject. I can see both sides of it. I will say this. I will probably go to at least one game. I will go to a game, but will I be openly cheering for the success of the team, meaning I want them to win? I don't know. I think it's going to take some time to build up that kind of brand loyalty. And I don't know if 3 seasons is enough. If it was going to stay in Sacramento and we knew it was ours, then it's like, okay, I can dive in. But why invest? Why get myself super duper excited? And I'm not sure they're even going to be there in 3 years.
Yeah, I fear that they're going to be playing. This even happens sometimes in Oakland where there are more fans of the other team than there are of the A's. That could end up happening a lot in Sacramento next year, potentially. We'll see. We also have this on the chat from TR. Drapes versus Hollinger. Who you got, chat? Yeah, you went head-to-head with him last night, huh?
Yeah, I didn't get all, I was very respectful. We had a cordial conversation. I just wanted to know, what's the deal? How, when is my guy Domas going to get his respect? And basically, Hollinger said, regarding the DeMar DeRozan signing too, that the Kings have a ceiling and that the Kings, he said, will never be champions, but that fans will just be happy with being relevant, being in the playoff mix. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, man. It's like, I'm a nonviolent guy. You know what I mean? But I wanted to give him the 2-piece no sauce. Like, dude, we are in it to win a title. We are building something. And yes, fans are excited. Fans are happy to make the playoffs. But it just seems, like I said earlier, it seems like, he gets, it's like a young child getting the hit in a baseball game. Good job, little Johnny. Now go back to the bench. That's what it feels like. Good job, good effort. All right, now go back. It just felt like he viewed Sacramento as sort of the little brother of the NBA, that we should just be at the kids' table and happy, that the NBA is sharing some of its big Thanksgiving dinner with us.
Did he really answer your question with a question, which can be, I think, kind of disrespectful? So you say, when are you going to give Domas the respect he deserves? And is that what you say? He said, well, what kind of respect does he deserve? Did you really go?
Right.
Oh, boy.
Yes,
wow.
yes,
okay.
To an extent. He basically the vibe was he gets the respect that he deserves. And I'm like, he wasn't even an all-star. What's going on here? And so and I asked him to come on the show, Whitey.
Yeah.
I said, when are you going to come on a radio show? Would love to have you on. He says, I don't do radio shows really because I have my own podcast. And so I don't do other shows. I'm like, whatever, bro. Whatever. So, that was my run-in with John Hollinger last night at the Aces game.
All right. Well, you tried. You gave it your best shot to get him on.
As my boy Brandon Dietzman says on the YouTube chat, oh, man, he can eat a shoe. Right? Yeah, he's not a fan of Sac. He actually said, I love going to the games. I love the arena. Sacramento's a great place to watch a game. But like I said, he kind of pandered when he, basically tapped me on the head and said, you guys got a cute little team.
Good
but
for you.
You're not going to be. Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. That's a cute little team you got out there. That's
great. Just be happy with making the playoffs.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Joe joins us on Sactown Sports. Hello, Joe. What do you know?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
I just wanted to call in and say, I would rather go watch the River Cats and support them over the Oakland A's or wherever they're going to be called. I mean, to me, it's the same level of ball, but probably a different brand. I mean, just a different brand, probably aside from Mason Miller and maybe a couple other guys.
So you're saying the A's are basically a AAA team other than a few guys here and there.
Yeah. I mean, they've lost almost 70 games this year.
Well, how about, and I'm not trying to talk you out of how you feel, I'm just asking the question, Joe, how about, the other teams and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and the Dodgers and on and the Giants? I mean, wouldn't you want to go see them play?
Yeah, I mean, if they were playing like the Angels or the Giants, I would prefer to go see one of those games just to experience it, once or twice. But aside from that, I don't know. I just feel like the River Cats, they deserve the support a little bit better. And if I'm not going to go watch them, why would I watch the same level just with a different brand?
Wow. Thank you, Joe, for sharing that. Ouch. That kind of cuts to one of the core issues here, right? It's like, hey, the team, based on what we're seeing, the team ain't that good.
Right. They're a AAA team, glorified AAA team. And I probably would argue the tickets are cheaper for the River Cats,
Oh, sure.
And so it's interesting because are the River Cats going to be just a forgotten team? Our last caller said if he had a choice, he'd go to the River Cats. But if Aaron Judge is in town, are you not? If Soto is in town, those guys are you not going to be curious and wanting to go see? And here's the thing, Whitey. I remember this is years ago when I was in Boston. The Yankees were staying at the Ritz-Carlton. And I happened to be there meeting somebody in a bar area. There were a line of people outside, fans all outside. You had police barricades and everything. If we know that Judge and those guys are staying at the Sawyer, you don't think fans will be geeked up, excited to get a glimpse of those guys?
I don't know. I would think so. And it's hard for me to say because I love baseball. My daughter, Lonnie, she was a baseball fan and then she was just so busy with things. She kind of got away from it. In the last couple of years, she's become a really big fan again. And when this news was first breaking, I was talking to her, she goes, oh, I'm going to go to games. Are you kidding me? Major League Baseball down the street. So there is that aspect to it. But it's just going to be so awkward with it's the A's, but it's the Las Vegas A's, but not yet.
Right.
I think in some ways it's going to be unprecedented. I don't know if any team has ever put fans in that position before.
Yeah. And I wonder too, I'm thinking about merchandise and all that, jerseys. Is it kind of a nostalgic thing too? Nostalgia, where you buy things just to say you were there, when the A's played there 2 or 3 seasons. And 40 years ago, actually Sacramento did have a baseball team one time. The A's moved here. And so I wonder how much of a nostalgia thing it will be for fans as well.
Brandon Fong on the chat says, lifelong A's fan. I went to a game last week to say goodbye to the Coliseum. I forgot how awful of an experience it is. Horrible team, horrible stadium, owner, and just overall vibe around the team. Well, that's unfortunate, because I've been wanting to do that at least one time this year too. If that's the end of it, I want to, say goodbye. And I know I don't know. I can still go there and see it the way it used to be before they put in Mount Davis and all that. It was at one time, when they had the Bash Brothers drapes, that place was packed. They were a way better team than the Giants, and they outdrew the Giants.
Wow. Yeah, that's I was thinking maybe going down one last time, but that cement slab known as the ballpark that they have down there, it's just it's not enticing, man. And it's sad to see such a proud, history that organization has had, about to be stripped away.
Mm-hmm. It's always had its issues. They used to have a third baseman named Sal Bando back in the 70s, and he used to call it the Oakland Mausoleum. Because of all it was so gray and everything. Yeah. And so it's just amazing that it's gone on this long. And now we still don't really have a resolution. But based on what Bill Shaikin from the LA Times told us, Major League Baseball is all in and still feels like, nope, it's going to be Vegas. It's going to happen. They're going there. So we'll just bide our time and help them wait out this transitional period here in Sacramento. When we come back, we'll get back to the NFL and Brandon Aiyuk. Drapes. We talk about this a lot, right? Brandon Aiyuk, is he a top 10 receiver? We were just having that conversation. Well, ESPN asked scouts, coaches, executives to name the top 10 receivers in the NFL. Is Brandon Aiyuk on that list? We find out next. Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up Podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Whitey here reminding you that, nope, not all gas grills are created equal. What you want to do this summer, bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meals with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. We got the Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill, turning me into a grilling pro. I mean, not that I was bad before, but now features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, made with premium stainless steel, boasting quality and a lifetime warranty. So I don't think I'll be doing much cooking indoors ever again. Napoleon Grills and Accessories now available at your nearby Amy's Ace Hardware in Sacramento and now El Dorado.
If you're not looking for a brand new car, at El Grove Honda, we've acquired some of the best pre-owned cars we can find. We've kept only the best of our trades, and our buyer has found some of the finest pre-owned Hondas available in Northern California. You can see for yourself at elgrovehonda.com. Whether you purchase a brand new Honda or a like-new pre-owned Honda, your car buying experience will be the same. We have the right Honda at the right price. You'll find us in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 and Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool's been put away. Now's the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Oh, the memories. We've been talking about the A's a little bit here because earlier we talked to Bill Shaikin from the LA Times about what players from Vegas think of the proposed move from Oakland to Vegas. And, of course, we got to figure out how Sacramento's going to fit into the mix. And we heard from Brandon, a listener who said he went to an A's game last weekend to say goodbye to the old stadium. So get a little nostalgic there. Gabriel Johnson just on the chat says, Campy Campaneris. I just have a real quick story about Campy Campaneris. Drapes, I went to a game with my mom and my brothers early in the A's time in Oakland. And Campy Campaneris was a shortstop. He stole a lot of bases, real exciting. Mm-hmm. And it was a doubleheader. And before every pitch, this woman sitting there went, hit to Campaneris. Every pitch, a doubleheader. So by the sixth inning of the first game, she's like, like a dog that had been debarked or something. It was incredible. She was relentless. She just would not stop until, her vocal cords gave out. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen at a baseball game. My favorite, though, is when we're at the A's game and we're sitting in the bleachers and there's these kids sitting behind us and they had a picnic or something. And this one kid says to his brother, whatever, he's like, oh, I sat on your cookie. And the kid says, sit on my cookies. I'll sit on your brain. And I don't know.
Dude, how old were you when this?
That one we were.
Hit it to
Campaneris. I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10 or something like that. I can still see the woman
scarred
too.
You for life. It scarred you for life.
Yeah. Sit on my. I never forgot that. Sit on my cookies. I'll sit on your brain. So
what?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. You don't forget a thing like that,
man. Yeah, I guess.
And listen to this on Twitter here. We've been talking about it, so people hitting us up on Twitter. X TechSec says, while in Sac, at least the games will look full. Vegas, I think the city will get behind the team. This is not my words. This is TechSec. Those desert rats cling to sports teams that relocate to that hellhole. Like,
jeez. Man, TechSec.
People are very resentful of this whole Vegas poaching the A's.
Jen Noble, Major League Baseball is confident that the A's move to Sacramento will be beneficial for all parties involved with improvements to Sutter Health Park, such as a new playing surface being implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So they say it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Go to Sacramento, upgrade the facilities, move there temporarily, and then go to your new home in Vegas.
I do think, give Vivek credit because this is probably our best and most realistic chance of getting a team. It's a weird situation, but it's like, well, we can step in and maybe increase our chances of getting a team, or we can do nothing and then we're not going to get a team that way. So I get it. It's just, it's a little tricky here. A lot of little I's to dot and T's to cross still. And then maybe the facility will be upgraded for the future. So maybe it's a win-win for Sacramento either way. I don't know. Hope so.
Yeah. And I've been talking with some people within the organization, the Kings organization, about this. And, what's interesting is the people in charge of Golden One and putting on the events and everything, they're also being asked to help with the improvements at Sutter Health Park. And so They're working around the
Yeah.
clock. Like, this is a huge undertaking.
Mhm.
But to your point, if this is your best chance of getting the Major League Baseball team, you got to do it. You can't leave any stone unturned. You got to put in the hours. And so, come March 31st next year, we'll see if they're ready.
Mm-hmm. I'm baffled by MLB's reaction this whole way. They've just been over backwards to accommodate John Fisher. All right, well, we'll waive the relocation fee. No problem. With everything he needs. All right, we'll do it. And they continue to make him a revenue sharer. Okay, you got this half-baked plan in place. Good enough. You're still going to share in the revenue. And after talking to Bill Shaikin, I'm just amazed. Baseball's still feeling like, nope, it's going to happen. Despite all the pitfalls and all the uncertainty, no, it's going to happen. So maybe they know something I don't. On to football. Drapes. Brandon Aiyuk was a big story yesterday. Brandon Aiyuk, who has demanded a trade. Is Brandon Aiyuk a top 10 receiver? We've been talking about that for months now, right?
Yes, we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have.
And I think we agree he's one of the best receivers, but where does he rank on this list? ESPN has been polling executives, coaches, and scouts, ranking the top 10 players at various positions. We talked about how, Brock Purdy wasn't on the list, which is obviously an oversight, but does Brandon Aiyuk make the receivers list? Here they are, the top 10 receivers in the NFL, according to executive coaches and scouts. Number 1, Justin Jefferson. Please tell me if there's anything here that you disagree with or want to comment on. Jump in, of course. Justin Jefferson. Yeah. Number 2, Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Number 3, Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Number 4, CeeDee Lamb.
I'm okay with that.
Number 5, according to the coaches, scouts, and execs, Devontae Adams.
Yep.
Number
I give him that.
6, this is probably a mistake, huh? A.J. Brown, number 6.
Nah, AJ is a stud. He's no doubt a stud. Yeah, I'm saying that. Yep.
We can disagree on that one. Number 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Number 8,
Okay.
Mike. Yeah. Number 8 is Mike Evans. Number 9 is Stephon Diggs. Back it up.
Back it up. Beep, 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 beep. That's where I start to draw the line.
On Mike Evans?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
On Mike Evans. This is the grouping I think Brandon Aiyuk is in. The Mike Evans grouping, the Nico Collins, the Stephon Diggs, who I think you had coming up next.
He's next. You're right.
I think Aiyuk is in that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans, I know he's been around. When you look at statistically, Aiyuk had a better statistical season than Mike Evans. And I understand it's Mike Evans and a big name and, an all-time great, had a great career. But that's where I feel like this survey, the one you're listing, is more about the household names than the actual production on the field.
Number 10.
I'm taking Brandon Aiyuk over Mike Evans.
Okay. The way this list went, it was Evans 8, Stephon Diggs 9, and Brandon Aiyuk did make the list at number 10, according to execs, coaches, and scouts. Brandon Aiyuk. So, according to these experts, he is a top 10 receiver, just barely, but he is a top 10 receiver. And we'll see if the 49ers decide to pay him like one. Doesn't look like they're going to, Drapes.
No, it doesn't look like they're going to budge at all. And all right, so let's say he's a top 10 wide receiver. I'm looking at the top 10 contracts average per year among wide receivers. 3, 6, 9. Nico Collins, 24.2. DK Metcalf, 24. Now, mind you, Collins just got paid. But I put Brandon Aiyuk firmly ahead of Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
I put Aiyuk ahead of, Cooper Kupp is listed there. Jalen Waddle I think he's better than Jalen Waddle. And you have to look at when the contracts are being signed. And so, to me, I feel like the Niners are basing it off of the receivers' contracts that are out there right now. And I'm talking about the DK Metcalfs at 24, the Debos at 23.8. But we're really what Aiyuk's camp is doing is based on the current market, not what guys signed 2 years ago, Whitey, not what they signed last year. Right now, the market has been set. Justin Jefferson, 35. A.J. Brown, 32. I agree. He's not on that level. Ross St. Brown, $30 million. Tyreek, 30. He's not on that level, but he's on that tier right below them, is what I think.
And I don't have those numbers in front of me, so I apologize. But if they gave him 26 and he said, okay, I'll take it, would that be a top 10 value per year for a receiver?
Yes, currently. Okay. But that could be old very quickly. Right?
Gotcha.
That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when T. Higgins signs his deal, you know what I mean? He was a franchise that, like that could get old quickly. And CeeDee Lamb's about to sign. CeeDee's going to be a $30+ million guy. And so it's sort of like, the contracts, in the NBA before Jaylen Brown signed 300 for 300. It's like, man, that's a lot of money. Then Brown comes in. It's like, wow, he's the highest paid. So I think the bar is keep getting raised. And based off of previous year's contracts, 26 sounds good. But in just a couple of years, 26 is going to be paltry. Not paltry, but, it won't even be top 10.
They're playing chicken with him right now. The 49ers are really good at this. They've proven that over the years. They're really good at, all right, who's going to blink first? It ain't going to be us. And we'll see if, like the guys before him, if he decides, or if they decide, all right, we'll budge a little bit. Doesn't look like they're going to. So I think the ball's in his court here. So the 49ers can, wait him out. They can trade him. That's about the only options they have there. Yeah. Or the third thing is they can come to him and say, all right, we'll sweeten the pot a little bit, but that doesn't seem like they're going to do that.
Yeah, then they're not going to. They're going to, just wait him out. And, we had Jennifer Lee Chan on yesterday. Ultimately, Aiyuk is going to have to report. Camp opens next week, and who knows how long if he holds out. But once you start missing some of them game checks, then things get really costly for Brandon Aiyuk.
All right, we're going to bounce back to basketball when we come right back. Are the Kings in desperate shape defensively? Tell you who says they are. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hot summer savings now at Maida Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Maida Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 73124.
Made a great deal at Maida.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the Waterbury.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for Chrysler's Make This the Summer Sales event.
Everywhere you go, things are getting more expensive. But at Hoblet, we're working to save you as much as we can, which is why right now you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn or Laramie Hemi 4x4s. And we figured why not include no payments for 90 days.
You guys are going all out this month, aren't you?
From the time my grandfather opened the first Hoblet dealership back in 1949, one thing we've strive for is to treat you like family. That's why you'll find the big city selection and savings with over 400 Rams available, but the small town care and attention when you buy from Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,500 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 1500s after 8,500 factory rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Chrysler Captor bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Captor qualify. And 500 first responder cash for current members of eligible First Responder Association. At least 5 of this net savings. Sample VIN 190060. See dealer for details.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Enjoy that summertime shine for 25% off at Car Wash. Now through July 31st, you can get 25% off any single car wash at Quick Quack during their summertime savings event. Hurry, unlike summer, this offer is only good for a limited time. So you want to text the keyword HANDLE, HANDLE, HANDLE to 916-339-1140 to enter to win a 30-day membership. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Drapes is in Las Vegas, of course, where tough one today for the Kings, Drapes, and they're not going to win the Summer League as I predicted they would. Have they gotten much, if anything, accomplished in Summer League so far in your professional estimation?
Let me say this.
Yes.
And this is just my take on this.
All right.
A Drapes take.
It's a Drapes take. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. We got to get your music ready.
I mean, it ain't going to be a fire one or anything like that. But my takeaway from Summer League is that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Hold up for a second. Thank you so much. When the music plays, something happens. I'm telling you, your boy. Here's what I feel about Summer League with the Sacramento Kings. I believe they had a checklist of things they wanted to see. I still believe it's been incomplete. I think they wanted to see, to your point earlier, Keon Ellis handle the rock more. I still think it's an incomplete for Keon. I think, and I said earlier, maybe they shut him down, maybe they won't. But from a ball handling standpoint, they need to see more. Same thing with Colby Jones. Can he run a team? We talked to Colby earlier this week. Colby Jones has been asked to be on the ball a lot more. I think these guys are sort of auditioning for the backup point guard spot. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk to Jordan McLaughlin coming up on Friday, the Kings' new backup point guard. We'll ask him about it. But I think right now, if you had a to-do list of things you wanted to see here from Summer League, right now it would be incomplete. Right now it would be mixed results. And so maybe tomorrow game, their final game here at Summer League, will complete the picture. But I feel like right now, why do you ask me the question? Have we seen? No, I don't think they've checked the boxes. I don't think they've been satisfied by what they've seen from this team. So we've seen glimpses.
Right.
We've seen, bits and pieces, but not the total pack. Remember last year at the California Classic, our boy Keegan Murray went off for 41. They saw what they needed to see from Keegan Murray. I don't think we've seen what we need to see from Colby or Mason Jones, or for that matter, Keon Ellis. Today was a good start, but he might get some run tomorrow now, the more that I think about it.
Isaac Jones played pretty well today, 13 points at 5 of 6, and had 8 rebounds. And that's a guy, again, we're not saying, well, he's gonna be in the rotation.
Right.
But, summer league, can these guys even play in the league? Can they make the roster? And I think a lot of fans like what they're seeing from Isaac Jones and also from Isaiah Crawford, although he didn't play especially well today.
Yeah, I think Isaac Jones has probably been more consistent since coming here to Summer League. From California Classic to now. I was talking to somebody earlier about Crawford, and they were like, has Crawford been doing anything? And I'm like, not much. He had a good California Classic, a good start out there, but since has sort of quieted down. I think Jones has been sort of consistent all throughout it, and I would not be surprised. And I know he's a two-way player, but he'll spend some time with the big league club. He does some things. He has size. He has length that I think, especially if they don't make any other moves, I think that can help this team. Yes.
And Mason Jones playing pretty well. I know you mentioned him, but they're kind of running some offense through him because they don't really have a pure point guard. He had 7 assists and Keon had 6. I think the Kings at Summer League, this is a little, wonky, but it's an interesting example of how difficult it is for a basketball team to function at a high level when you don't really have a point guard. And they know that going in, and Keon is running point, but they don't really have, as Brendan was saying when we talked to Brendan Nunes earlier, they don't have a point guard. So that really puts the ceiling on how much you can achieve as a team.
No, you're right about that. And, I was looking at a guy like Boogie Ellis. Maybe he could run some point. We haven't really seen that from him. Mason Jones has been handling most of the duties, him and Keon Ellis and throwing Colby Jones. I do think Mason has been fantastic. Here's the thing about Mason. They're having him run the point, but he can impact the game outside of scoring with his energy, his hustle, his tenacity. Those are the things that I thought he brought to the team last year. He didn't get a whole lot of minutes, but you could feel him during the games, even on the bench, pumping up his team. And so he plays with a sort of a live wire in him. He's like a firecracker out there. And so I expect him, at times to be shuttled up and down between Sacramento and Stockton.
Is that it? Is that Drape's takes?
Yeah, that was a off the cuff one.
Yeah.
Not a well thought out one.
That's all right.
But once you brought it up, I was like, okay, all right, let's do it. I can do it. Once I heard the music, let's make it into a full segment. So that was it.
Drape's takes is always from the heart, though. It doesn't have to be prepared, right? Because it's always from right there.
You know what Drape's take is like? It's like,
analogy alert, stand by.
I'm all about the analogies. It's like when you are cleaning out the cushions. Remember, as a kid, you used to vacuum it and you find some money in there. You find some nickels and quarters. That's what Drape's take. I sort of fell into a Drape's take, if you will. It was found money right there. Oh, it's like, I stumbled upon this. I'll take it. So that's or finding a $5 bill in the wash machine in the pocket of your jeans or something like that.
That's how my mom found our fish one time. We had a fish that one day it was in the fish tank, and then it's like, what happened to the fish? And then my mom said, like 2 weeks later, I was vacuuming, I found the fish. So
I wonder, little Kevin Gleason back in the day, man, got into some mischief for a fish. It wasn't you, right?
No, the fish jumped out. The fish jumped out. That's what happened. We have this today from ESPN. I hesitated there because it's they have each team's rundown is written by different people. So I think Kendra Andrews wrote about the Kings. But again, we talked about this from the athletic standpoint earlier. These are, once again, not my favorite thing, power rankings, but post-free agency NBA power rankings. So where do the Kings rank according to ESPN? 1, Boston. 2, OKC. 3, Minnesota. 4, Knicks. 5, Dallas. That's a little more in line with what you were saying. Knicks ahead of Dallas. 6, the Sixers. Denver. 7, 8, Milwaukee. 9, Indiana. 10, Cleveland. 11, Orlando. 12, Phoenix. 13, Memphis. 14, New Orleans. 15, Sacramento Kings, Drapes. And here's what she says about the Kings. She says, DeRozan joining the Kings, one of the biggest free agent signings in Sacramento franchise history, despite having to give up Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte, especially on the offensive end. DeRozan's offensive prowess, especially his mid-range game, should fit nicely along Sabonis, Fox, and Monk. However, DeRozan's defensive limitations won't help an area the Kings are desperate to improve, end quote. The Kings are desperate to improve their defense, according to, and she's a wonderful person, Kendra Andrews. But the Kings desperate to improve their defense? Doesn't look like it. Maybe they should be, but they're not.
Well, if they were desperate, I would imagine they would have made a move, right?
Thank you.
I would imagine if you're desperate, you got all these guys out there. Why not get a Derrick Jones Jr.? Why not get some guys? I don't know if they're desperate. And, Jason Anderson wrote about this earlier in the season. Maybe Mike is desperate, but, is Monty desperate? I don't know, and we pointed it out. They were top 15 in the league in defensive rating. So I argue and I wonder whether defense isn't necessarily the top priority going into the offseason for this team. I argue that getting a guy like DeMar DeRozan shows me the priority was to get another bucket getter to improve the offense to a more consistent, reliable offense. And it's something Mike Brown talked about today, and the reason they wanted DeMar DeRozan and how he can help their efficiency. I don't know if they're desperate to improve defensively. Would they like to? Yes. Are they going to try to? Yes. To me, if you're desperate, it means you're 26, 25, 30. Like, they're a solid defensive team.
Yeah.
They're actually an average defensive team.
I've read some that have kind of lumped last year and the year before together and said, oh, look at the defense is just as bad as it's been the last 2 years. Well, last year's defense was nothing like the defense the year before. It was the same team, but I have to think that was the biggest shock to the Kings and the Kings decision makers was after that great offensive year they had 2 years ago. They came back last year and the defense was, by just about any measure, it was drastically improved.
Yes.
And they still took a step back. And because, like you say, the offense slid a little bit. I don't think they anticipated that at all.
No, not at all. I mean, and that's why they didn't really make any major upgrades offensively. You thought, all right, Keegan in his second year, Kevin Huerter coming back, guys would be okay. Like, at least, we went and dropped back to 13th or whatever it was offensively. At least we'd still be a top 10. And so, no, I agree with you, man. You look at, where this team expected to be, they didn't feel like offense was going to be an issue, but clearly it was. I mean, look at, I got the rankings right here. Let me pull it up again. Look at the stats, from the best offensive teams in the league last season. I mean, when you look at, Indiana, they made a deep playoff run. It was because of their offense. They made a great run through the postseason. You look at Boston and what they were what they did. And I understand, they got it done defensively as well, but offensively, they were elite. OKC, top team in the Western Conference. They were number 3 in offensive rating. Clippers, they were a top 4 seed. Denver, Milwaukee. I'm looking at it, Whitey. The top 8 offensive teams in the league all made the playoffs. Then you got Golden State at 9, 10, Phoenix, New Orleans. Then you get to Atlanta at 12. So 10 of the top 11 made the postseason. And I'm talking the top 16. Conversely, when you go to the defensive side of the thing, you got Miami at 5, Houston at 10, Memphis. Memphis was 12th in defensive rating last year, Whitey. Think about that.
But I thought defense wins championships.
Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Defense sometimes don't even get you into the postseason. you gotta be balanced. And so, I don't know if they're desperate to improve their defense. Would they like to? Yes, but I don't think it's like the most critical, urgent need in the history of basketball. Yes, they want to improve, but they were pretty good defensively last year.
Meanwhile, depth is still not the Kings' strong suit. Is that a problem? That and really sad autograph story for you when we come right back to the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender in the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We've been talking a little bit about the A's today, what future they may have here in Sacramento, what baseball thinks of the move to Vegas. So we've been hearing from some fans, current and past fans of the A's. We heard from Brandon earlier, who said, I went down there last weekend to say goodbye to the building, and it just wasn't a great experience. We have this from Linda Harold. I was an A's fan in the 70s. At one game, I got Raleigh Finger's autograph on a program. I sure wish I could find it. And Drapes, that brings back a real painful memory for me because I was probably 8 or 9 or something, and we went to an A's game, and they're playing the Baltimore Orioles, and I had a scorecard, which they used to actually sell, and I got a ton of autographs on there. I don't even know if I knew who all the guys were. I just remember Catfish Hunter and probably some guys on the great Orioles teams. But for some reason, remember, I was only 8 or 9. I needed a roof for my my outdoor structure for my G.I. Joe, and I used it as a roof, and it rained. And I still have the thing, but you can't read the signatures or anything. It just breaks my heart. Why in the world did I need to use that as the roof? Why does G.I. Joe?
And how old were you then?
8 or 9, I think. And that's the thing. I still have it. She says, I can't find my autograph. I can find mine, but it got ruined because I was such an idiot.
Why do you still have that though?
I guess I thought,
you're a hoarder. I get it. You're a hoarder.
It's an autograph. Dude, that's why.
But you can't read it though. It's ruined. I don't believe you stole it from when you were 8. Oh man.
I'll bring it in. I think I know where it is.
And maybe I can help you decode who some of the names are. You know what I mean? With a magnifying glass or something like that.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, year ago September, or maybe it was last September. No, last September. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My daughter took me to an A's game for my birthday. So it was just the two of us, and we're watching the game, and I was like, you know what? My mom used to keep score. She taught me how to keep score. I'm going to show you how to keep score. You can't find a scorecard now. They don't sell them because nobody keeps score. I was all over the place. I think they might have them down there at the security gate. And it took me forever just to find a scorecard, but we do have the scorecard. Yeah. Because no one keeps score anymore.
No. Yeah. You know who does keep scoring? I found this out yesterday.
Very appropriate music. Thank you, Simone.
Yes, thank you, Simone.
Yeah.
Your boy Ramsey.
Nice.
He's still, when he goes to games or watches games, he keeps score. He told me this last night, and I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's my way of being invested, locked in.
Yes.
Because if not, then, I'm wandering around my attention span. And I was like, really? One thing I used to do with basketball, I used to chart basketball, run a running play-by-play.
Wow.
Like my own play-by-play when I was doing pre- and post-game. It was my way of staying involved because, go to games now and, I'm doing pre and post. I'm walking up and down the aisles, going to the suites, And so, but before I used to just literally write down every play to sort of be locked in. Yeah.
No, I know you saw Ramsey at the basketball game. He keeps score at the basketball game? Is that what you're saying?
No, not bad. He's
okay.
Baseball.
Okay.
He's a baseball guy.
That's
He's
the
a
way you
major
do it.
baseball guy. And that's what he said. Yeah, he keeps it. I'm like, really? And I never knew the proper way to keep track of baseball. And so when I used to do A's pre and post or Giants pre and post, I sort of did it the Drapes way. I don't know if it was correct, Whitey, but it got me through.
Sure.
Like I would chart it out, and whatever I needed to do for a post game to talk about it.
One time I was playing softball, and I don't think we were married yet. My fiance, or I don't think we were married yet. Might have been. Anyway, she was like helping out, keeping score. She's learning to keep score. I'm playing third base, and some guy hits a rocket down the line, and I dive full out to backhand it, and the ball hits the base before it gets to me. Boop, over my glove and down the line. I had no shot at it because it hit the base. Would have been a spectacular play. So anyway,
is that an error?
I never. Come on, Drapes. So I go in to check, when I'm up, and I look at the scorecard, and she gave me an E5.
She scored an E5 on you.
Yeah, and I never even had a chance. And I said,
it didn't get a glove on it or
anything. She said,
yeah,
you should have had it. So I was like, okay, great.
What are you going? You didn't break up with her then? Like I would have ended it right then and there. Oh, I'm not cut out for her. We're not cut out for each other.
Yeah, she says those things that make you want to. Oh yeah, well I'm gonna show you. So
that's messed
E5.
up.
I'll never forget that E5 on a ball that hit the base. Depth is still not the Kings' strong suit, is it, Drapes? When you look at the roster, but is that an issue? Is that a problem?
I think it is. And here's why, Whitey. And I said this yesterday, and it bears repeating today for Kings fans listening right now. Last season, we went into the year with too many hopes, meaning we hope Chris Duarte is this. We hope Sasha turns into this. We hope so-and-so does this. This year, we need to go into the season thinking we know this. We know that. And that's where we got to upgrade our bench, whether it's a Dorian Finney-Smith type or somebody like that. Jordan McLaughlin, I think that was an excellent pickup. Even though he didn't get a whole lot of minutes last year with Minnesota and in his career, he's shown flashes. We know he can be a capable backup in the NBA. Outside of that, I'm looking at our three position. Who's our backup three? Let's say Kevin Huerter starts. Who's our backup three? Is it McDaniels? Well, we hope he can be this. I don't want to go into the season with a lot of hopes. I want to go into the season knowing, you know what? I know what this guy can do, and I know this is what he's going to deliver for us night in and night out.
Here's how I think it could work, and I don't disagree with you. You obviously the point you raise is it's kind of self-evident. You're right, but you look at your Celtics who won the championship, and they had some decent guys coming off the bench. I'm a bigger Peyton Pritchard fan than you are, but their bench isn't great, but their depth was really in their top six. Their top six is so good. Now, obviously, the Kings' top six is not as good as them, but I could see how if the Kings, with Malik coming off the bench, and if Devin Carter or Colby becomes a player, I mean they're decent. They're going to be decent, but if you end up with six, when you've got DeRozan, Fox, and Domas are going to play so many minutes. If you get top production from your top six, I don't think you're going to need as much depth. Maybe I'm, squinting there and trying to find a positive when it's really negative, but I can see how it could work if those guys play major minutes again, which they normally do.
No, you're right about it, man. When you look at, some of their numbers, talking about the Celtics from a season ago, You're totally right. I mean, they went maybe, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They went 8 deep. They had an 8-man rotation, basically, when you look at it, which included Hauser, Pritchard, and Horford.
Yeah.
How they got away with that, to me, is mind-boggling. Maybe it was because their starting five was so good.
That's it,
Whitey.
I think.
They were so elite. And that may be the path the Kings have to take. And to your point, that's what, Monty was talking about. This is our core. They may be taking the Celtics blueprint on things. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, their top 8 guys averaged better than 22 minutes or more a season ago. Conversely, when you look at the Sacramento Kings top 8 guys in terms of minutes and how much they played, we had 7 guys. Trey Lyles averaged 20 minutes per game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out for 30 games of the season, 24 games of the season. And so I'm saying this to say that our guys, then you had Keon Ellis at 17, Davion at 15, Duarte at 12, Sasha at 12. Like a lot of times, maybe we relied too much on guys or too much on many different guys instead of saying, all right, here's our top 8. This is who we're going to rock with. Everybody else, sorry, you got to get in where you can fit in.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think some of that, though, is because Mike Brown was looking for one of the guys you mentioned to just seize hold of that spot in the rotation. But because no one ever quite did, so it's like, we'll try Sasha tonight. Oh, he's hurt. Okay, we'll try Duarte.
Right.
No, not quite. And just, I think he would have loved to have limited the rotation. But, and the players conversely could say, I never knew when I was going to play. It's chicken or the egg thing. I can't play well because I don't know when I'm playing. And from the coach's standpoint, well, I can't put you in rotation because you don't play well every night. So I think that was part of the problem.
Let me ask you this. Could there be a thing as having too many guys, too many options, meaning sort of like, quarterbacks? If you got 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks, do you really have any?
Mm-hmm.
Because I ask you this. Let's look at our top 8. Fox, Sabonis, got to throw DeRozan in there.
Sure.
Monk, Murray, Kevin Huerter, Keon Ellis, Trey Lyles. Where's McLaughlin at?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Alex Len at? Where's whoever else they're going to add at? I think our top 8 are a little undersized. Like, you know what I mean? It's very guard heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think we have an unbalanced roster, if you will, when you look at our top 8.
Yeah, but the way it looks to me is ideally, and again, because DeRozan plays so many minutes, led the league, and Domas plays so many minutes, that they're going to this year probably ride that top 8 as far as they can. And if somebody else, they have some surprise player one way or the other who has a bust out year, and it's like, oh, like Keon last year. Well, yeah, if he forces you to play him, you play him. I agree with you completely. They need more depth in the front court, but I think the plan this year is we're not going to fiddle around looking for guys that are going to help us. We're going to stick with the guys that we know can give us what we need.
A key guy might be, Whitey? Trey Lyles.
Yeah?
Who is Trey Lyles, and what are we going to get from him? I expected more from Trey this past season. Obviously, the injuries really derailed him, and I don't think he ever got into a groove. If he could turn into, last season, he averaged 7 points. If he could turn into an 11 and 12 point per game guy at that power forward position, because I'm looking at the backup bigs, he's probably the only one that's going to get, regular minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kyle, but you've sparked a debate here on the chat about whether Trey Lyles is a bum or not. Split decision here on the chat.
Oh, people are saying that? Oh, TR says Trey Lyles is a bum.
Willie
Brown says wrong.
Bowling.
Lyles isn't a bum. TR.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I like Trey Lyles. I like when he's in the rotation, when he's playing. I feel like he gives us something, nobody else. Like he's a serviceable player. The problem with the Kings, and it was too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
Guys were up and down, whether it's Huerter, Lyles.
Yep.
And so we need, the thing about the Celtics, we talk about how top heavy they are. Well, their top 8 are pretty consistent. We need our top 8 to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. Gonna head back to football in just a moment here. How good is business for the NFL now that camps are opening around the league? We have the staggering numbers for you, the absolutely staggering numbers next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I can't tell you how much I love my new SUV. It is truly amazing, and I got special news just for you. Right now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you can receive your first month's payment up to $1,500 on them on select new 2024 GLE vehicles. Or how about the all-new E-Class right now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton? They have over 80 pre-owned vehicles in stock, including off-brand trucks, SUVs, and sedans. And they have rates starting at 1.99% APR on select certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. And Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has a Vans Fleet Center with rates starting at 4.9% APR plus customer bonus cash incentives on approved credit. Head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, just off I-5, or online at mbfstockton.com.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
I know I said a moment ago we had some staggering numbers to share with you on how business is thriving in the NFL. We'll have to put those on the back burner for just a bit. Do want to get to them at some point, even if it's tomorrow, because they're incredible. But we have some sound from Vegas, Drapes, because Mike Brown, as you know, you were there. Mike Brown speaking with the media today. Yeah. And so we have some of his comments that we want to share because after weeks of negotiating, as you can read at SactownSports.com, the Kings and Mike Brown agreed on the multi-year extension May 31st. That's all official now, and he met with the media for the first time today. Has he been hanging out in Vegas all week, to your knowledge?
Yes, he has. He's been in attendance at the games, sitting courtside. Yeah, he's been around. Yep, ever since Friday.
Mm-hmm. So here is Mike Brown today on what it meant to him and why he decided to re-sign with Sacramento Kings.
We're very happy to be back. I mean, first of all, we love the city. We love the people in the city. From day one, everybody has just welcomed us with open arms, and the fans, how knowledgeable they are, but more importantly, how passionate they are about the team. It's second to none. And so that's exciting. But on top of that, obviously, working with Monty and Wes and having Tina and Vivek there, just the type of people that are a part of the program, my coaches, the players, the staff, from everybody behind the scenes, from Melanie Stockton, get a little shout out, Midge, get a little shout out, but for everybody, everybody's striving for one goal. They're great people and a lot of fun to be around. So I feel lucky, blessed, fortunate, all of the above, to be able to sign a long-term deal with these guys to be able to be here and try to make something special happen for the city of Sacramento.
First thing that jumps out at me, Drapes, is I've never heard him so relaxed. We're used to hearing him after games when he's so intense, and right there, he's pretty happy about the extension, and he's having a good time in Vegas.
Yeah, it's funny. He's sitting courtside there, second, third row, whatever it may be, and he got his grandbaby with him and everything.
Yeah.
Got family there, like a much more relaxed Mike Brown, and he's sort of been hands off too. Doug is running the show. Doug's running the practices. Doug's running the halftime. Mike is just chilling. And so yeah, sure, he's a work trip, but the dude is it's a family trip too, man. It's good to see Mike in a relaxed state.
Now, when you said work trip, were you referring to him or yourself?
Hey, I'm working every day. I've been doing the radio show, so your boy has not taken off one day, even though I do feel like I'm coming down sick for tomorrow. I'm just saying.
You sound a little congested. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Those allergies killing me out here.
Those desert allergies. Yeah.
Right.
And you can imagine what a wonderful summer it's been for Mike, because he agrees to the extension. Then, look at that. Malik's coming back. And then DeMar DeRozan is coming to Sacramento. Here's Mike Brown on his newest edition, DeMar DeRozan.
Obviously, you're extremely excited. He's a veteran guy that's seen a lot of different defenses thrown his way. Not only defenses, he's been in a lot of different situations. He's a closer, and he's just a great human being. And so to have that addition to your team, it should definitely take us to another level. And I'm looking forward to it. Now, one player is not necessarily going to move the needle all by himself. It's going to take a collective effort. So we all have to use the summer to get better in order to enhance our chances as well.
That was excellent coach speak right there, wasn't it?
Yes. He said a lot, didn't he? Without, it's like, everything's great, it'll help, this, and we'll be efficient. He'll be efficient. It's not his first rodeo. You could tell that, right?
Yeah. No one player is going to move the needle, so we have to do our work here, and it has to be a group effort. By the way, when you just look at the additions and the departures, and I mean no disrespect to any of the departures, because, these guys have carved out careers, are tremendous people, but you look at departures, HB's gone. HB meant a lot to Kings here. Duarte didn't quite find it last year. Davion never quite found his niche here. And then Sasha Vezenkov never came close to finding it. So those guys gone, and you bring in DeMar DeRozan, Jalen McDaniels. We'll see, Devin Carter, guy that a lot of people said, wow, that was a great pick. And then Jordan McLaughlin, who not a big needle mover, to borrow Mike Brown's phrase, but that's a proven NBA guy who gives you known commodities in a couple of areas. Those are improvements.
No doubt about that. I mean, you start at the top with DeMar. You got a future Hall of Famer, a guy that can get you 25 points a night. That check that box.
Yes.
You look at a guy like McDaniels. One of the things we talked about is we need more length on the wings position. He's a big time wingspan kind of guy. So you get McLaughlin, a veteran backup guard, a steady presence. A lot of times last season, who did we rely on? Malik Monk, Davion. Well, Jordan McLaughlin, look at his plus minus. I mean, his assist to turnover ratio, his ability to knock down three, even though it's a small sample size. So that's an upgrade as well. I still want one more player though. Dorian Finney-Smith, I'm warming up on big time on him because and maybe McDaniels is who they want, Dorian Finney-Smith, they want him to be, they want him to be like Dorian Finney-Smith. But Dorian Finney-Smith, to me, man, a 3-and-D guy, veteran guy, he's not a hope guy. He's a no guy. And so I still want one more move, something like that.
How much are you willing to give up to get him generally?
Why are you asking tough questions?
Well,
I'm
that's
looking
why I
at
said
the clock.
generally. I'm not going to pin you down to exactly what, but
dude, I got like 20 more minutes here. I'm already checked out mentally on the show, and you asking me these difficult questions. I probably maybe a protected first, maybe heavily protected first, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. But I don't know if I would give up a lot though. What do you think?
I would still be interested in giving up a little more than that if I had a shot at Cam Johnson, Because now I like
right.
I think Cam's game is a little more well-rounded than DFS, although Dorian Finney-Smith hasn't had the injury issues that Cam has had. So to each his own. But I would be more interested in Cam Johnson, and I'd be willing to give up a little more than that half-baked package that you just cooked up there. What a heavily protected first and a couple of seconds.
What do you mean half-baked?
You're not going to get anybody for that. You're not going to get Rui Hachimura for that.
Dog, I don't know if I'm giving up a first-round pick for my 8th man. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Now, Cam Johnson, you were talking about, maybe comes in as a starter. So you can give up, how much would you give up for Cam Johnson? Let me ask you that. Exactly. Same thing I did when you asked me.
Well,
right?
I would strongly consider 2 number ones for Cam right now.
Woo!
Because I think this is it. I'm going
Elizabeth,
for it now.
I'm coming to join you at the big house in the sky. 2 first-round picks for Cam Johnson.
I'm considering it. I'm all in, Drapes. This is it.
How much it got to be protected, obviously. What kind of top 12 lottery, top 6? Like what you got to throw some protections, Whitey.
All right, well, fine. I mean, you're protected. One of them protected. But
nah, bro. Nah.
Let me give you the Draper version. I'll give you a pick swap and a second rounder. And first rounder protected 1 through 27. How about
nah, man. Nah. I'm giving for Cam Johnson 1 first-round pick and maybe a pick swap. How about that?
Oh, I would do that in the blink of an eye. I don't know if they would, but I would. Yeah. That would be a great move. It's just
I wonder Cam Johnson's value, because when he came from Phoenix, I thought he had high value.
Yeah.
Right. And even his first year in Brooklyn. But he was banged up this season.
Mm-hmm.
Came off the bench part of it. Like, he's kind of a what's the phrase we've been using? Distressed asset, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, we need to find him in a yard sale, shine him up, buff him up a little bit, and maybe you got some fine china or something like that.
Well, it's an interesting question, because if the best player is a top player is going for 4, maybe 5 ones. All right. If Jerami Grant right now, Portland's asking for 2 ones. All right. So let's just assume there's some sense of order to that, some sort of established. Yeah. There's not, but let's just say, okay, then Cam along those lines, probably not 2 first-round picks, right? I mean, I said I'd be willing to pay that, but yeah, I follow you. Yeah.
That's what I just think, and we got to remember, you're talking about for your 5th starter, not your first option, not second, your 5th starter, and you throw in Malik Monk. Now you're talking your 6th option. It's like I don't know. But Cam would solve a lot of problems. Like I like Cam. I think at the 4th spot, and I'm not against moving DeMar to the 2. The shooting guard.
I'm with you on that.
I'm okay with that.
I know.
We had our boy Stacey King on last week or a couple of weeks ago. DeMar is more naturally a 2. He could take advantage of his size going against 2s, and then going against 3s, he doesn't have that length challenging him. So no, I would not be opposed to Cam Johnson.
Afro asks, isn't Cam just an older version of Keegan? I mean, there are some similarities there, but I don't think that's bad, especially with the other offensive players I have. And Cam is a little more versatile, can really play either forward slot. And I think, Keegan's a good 3-point shooter. Cam Johnson statistically is even a better 3-point shooter than Keegan.
Yes. And what did he shoot last year? 41 or something like the dude is an insane 3-point shooter. And you know what I like about Cam Johnson, because I'm really warming up and heating up on this guy a little bit more. Yeah, I'm starting.
You must be getting sick because you never agree with me.
It's the Vegas flu. It happens, no doubt about it. But I imagine him Fox driving DeRozan, and you kick out, and you got Cam Johnson in the corner. Come on, man, that's lights out. Bam, knock it down. How's his defense though, Whitey?
I think it's kind of tailed off, but he was considered a couple of years ago a guy who could give you better than average defense at both forward positions. I don't know that that's still true, but he's not, for a team desperate to improve their defense, I think he'd help you there more than he'd hurt you.
No, I agree. I don't think he's like a negative defender,
right?
A sieve or a turnstile or anything like that, and let's keep it real. We had Sasha playing minutes for us last season. He's definitely an upgrade in that department. And so, man, you got me coming around with Cam Johnson. Like, I believe, and I understand Monty saying, our core is set, but I'm how you were about 3 weeks ago. Like in terms of, I don't care who you get.
Yeah.
I don't care who you get, just to upgrade the talent. Just get somebody that's going to help you this upcoming season.
We're going to come right back with what Coach Brown had to say about Malik Monk's return. Next, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy the height of hospitality, whether you're craving an upscale steakhouse, authentic Chinese hot pot and dim sum, or having a refreshing beverage while watching the game. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports. The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Woo! This has been quite a show. I don't know if this has ever happened before, where Drapes and I have been discussing a player, and he says a player, and I say, I like this player better, and he goes, maybe you're onto something. I don't know if that's ever happened. So I appreciate that, Drapes. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's right, who's wrong, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, usually you probably think I just disagree with you just to disagree, but most of the time I disagree with you because I think you're wrong. You know what I mean? So in this case, you know what? I'm warming up to Cam Johnson at the 4 for our Sacramento Kings. Yeah.
We're looking at how the Kings could improve in the front court. Drace mentioned Dorian Finney-Smith. And it, here's something that's interesting. I was just reading this, and this is Nets Daily, and they're talking about Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. And here's what they say. The Nets are still trying to figure it out, namely how to trade Johnson and Finney-Smith for the best value going forward. When to do it, how to do it, who to do it with. Of course, not the Wings nor Marks are going to come out and say that. So they're talking about, how good the team's going to be. You know what? Cam Johnson even mentioned Ben Simmons. He said, oh, boy, the way he's been playing, watch out. But the point is, even those guys are aware that they're essentially on the trading block. And my point is they are obtainable, both of them.
Right. They are. And I wonder, though, Whitey, when you look at the market now, are teams just asking a King's ransom for, average guys, and that's why something hasn't gotten done yet? Like, you look at a Brooklyn or a Washington with Kuzma. Like, why are they holding on to these guys? Even Portland, you're in rebuild mode. Why are you holding on to Jerami Grant? Like, are teams looking for 3 first-rounders or something for these guys, over asking? That's what I wonder, man.
My guess would be because they know that it's going to take them a long time to get to where they eventually want to get to. They're just not in a hurry. And there's so many, I would have to check this, but it seems to me like there are more teams now that feel like, yes, we're going for it, than there are the teams that are, flopping for flag. So the teams that are giving up are, they have assets. It's like all these other teams are going to come around. Maybe not right now. Well, we'll see what we get from them now. But if not, when that trade deadline comes around, there's going to be more teams, or at least the teams that are there going to be more desperate. So I think they're just biding their time and try to, get the most bang for the buck they can.
Yeah, Afro in the chat says on YouTube, Cam would be another scorer that we don't need. Use first-round picks to get that Aaron Gordon type player who would pair well with Sabonis. Tell me who that guy is, please. Because Bobby Portis doesn't seem to be available. That's my guy. Like, tell me who that guy is, that magic Aaron Gordon to transform us into a championship contender. Because we've been racking our brains trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And I agree with whoever I was at TR. Somebody said that Keegan is better than Cam, which I agree with. But the thing about Cam, I don't think he's going to need the ball a lot. But when you're going to, the way the Kings like to, drive and then spray the ball out to 3-point shooters, I think he'd be a good fit with that, because he's a really good 3-point shooter.
Catch and shoot guy. Yes, 100%. I'm with you on that. Are we doing Whitey's way back quiz today, or are you taking the day off? I just want to know. Because I did some studying today.
Oh, you did?
That feels like cheating.
Simone,
it sounds
you
like
believe
you're
I would
saying
cheat to win a contest.
What do you mean by saying I did some studying?
It sounds like you're saying, hey, can we play? Because I cheated. I'm going to do well.
Deeply incriminating.
I'm just looking at the clock, big fella. I got my boy Bronny playing at 6:30. I'm ready to, pack up shop, win this contest, and pack up shop.
All right, I understand that, but that you completely dodged that question. Did you cheat? Hey, Bronny's playing tonight.
Dude, I'm in Vegas, man. I did to do research. You got to open up your laptop and actually look things up, or your phone or something. Dude, I've been enjoying Vegas, man. I didn't do no research. It's all up here, Simone.
Perhaps, perhaps a truncator. We'll see if we have time here, but we still have to hear.
You're stalling right now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, we're not stalling. I mentioned that we had to hear from Coach Brown on Malik Monk, and they've had an interesting relationship. How much of what most fans think of the relationship is actually true in your view, Drape? So these guys really at odds as much as we think they are?
No, they're not. They're like this, man. They're blood brothers, or father and son relationship, like Mr. Miyagi and Daniel's son and Karate Kid. Like, they may bump heads, but the love is there. No, these guys are lockstep. I'm not worried about their relationship at all.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a problem, but I think most fans look at it and go, "Wow, those guys sometimes they bump heads." But here was Mike Brown today in Vegas, meeting the media for the first time since signing his extension, talking about how happy he is that Malik Monk is also returning.
Well, for the first thing is, you love the fact that he wanted to be here. That's first and foremost. And not only that, you love the fact that he's embraced the city just like they've embraced him. And then he's competitive. You want people on your team that are competitive. I wouldn't be happy with anybody if they were just okay sitting back accepting any role that I told them that they're in. Everybody wants to be the best. It's just like our coaches. If you're the seventh assistant, I wouldn't be happy if you sat here and said, hey, I want to be the seventh assistant the rest of my time here. You want somebody that has a growth mindset, is willing to take on challenges that come with more responsibility. So I applaud Malik for that. Like I said, I applaud the city for loving him the way that they do. But at the end of the day, whatever's best for the team, which is what he said on many occasions, is what he's going to do. And I've coached. The good part about me, if there is one in this situation, is I've coached 2 Hall of Famers that could have started for anybody but came off the bench, and Andre Iguodala and Manu Ginobili. And you talk about between those 2 guys, I think they have 8 total championships. 7 of the championships might have been won with when they were 6 men. So to have somebody as dynamic as Andre Iguodala, as Manu Ginobili, as Malik Monk coming off the bench and embracing their role because that may be best for the team is second to none. That can help propel you to heights that a lot of people don't understand. And so, like I said, I love Malik's competitiveness, but in the same breath, I love the fact that he said he's going to do whatever's best for the team. And so we'll see what happens when training camp comes.
Well, guess what? Malik ain't starting, right? That's what I got out of that, Draves. There's no question he's coming off the bench.
Right, exactly. And, Mike just spent 2 minutes talking about all the great 6 men that he coached and, all that. And he's not going to be like, all right, Malik, now you're starting. Like, no, I mean, yeah, he's coming off the bench. And there's no Whitey's way back quiz today.
Because you're a cheater. Because you're a cheater, and now we're punishing you.
I'm still reigning champ.
Cooking the books.
So
shameless.
I got the belt. Call me Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or somebody from WWE. I'm the champ one more time.
I guess it's got to the point they're just scared to even take you on, Drapes.
I guess. Can I say something real quick? I'm going to give my boy Frank Perez a shout out. Frank, yes, I'm going to go watch Bronny. 6:30 Lakers, Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to pack up shop. I'm going to walk over to Thomas and Mack because, of course, the Lakers always get the big arena for some reason. I don't know why the NBA does that, but I'm going to watch Bronny here in a few minutes.
Have fun, Drapes, and we'll be catching up with you tomorrow. When are you coming back, or are you ever coming back?
I'm coming back late tomorrow night, so I'm in studio Friday. I changed my flight.
How about that?
I missed you, bro. I missed you.
You do
so
miss
I want
us,
to be
don't
back
you?
in studio.
How about
I do, man. So I will be in studio Friday, back from Vegas.
All right. We appreciate that. Thanks, Drapes. We're back with you tomorrow. So it's been quite a show tomorrow. We did get off the rails a little bit.
Show?
Yeah, a little bit off the rails here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Some would say a SH show, but I'm just saying, can I say that on radio? All right.
Yeah, and we'll investigate whether Drapes did actually bend the rules a little bit or not. We'll look into that. We'll have our conclusions tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. Have a great evening. Stick around because we've got Infinity Sports Radio coming up next right here. Where else but on Sactown Sports?
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right, backwards pass led by